And we're live. It's alive. Yes, I gotta go over here and kill the sound. And then pop out the chat. Pop out the chat. And then turn that window out. And then make it go away. And that's that. That's gone. That's gone. Get rid of that. And there we go. I can get rid of this. Quit. Don't save. And my rum and Coke needs more rum. It's a little glass. And it's already got some in it. Keep that there. It's been a long week. So, what's everyone doing? Where is everyone? I don't think there's a single person watching. Not one. Oh well. It says 2 watching. Smashing. I'm having some chips and having a rum and Coke because it's not been a great week. So what's everybody up to besides Thanksgiving-y, weekend-y, family-y stuff, which is probably why no one's really going to be here. And I'll probably only do this for an hour, if that. Or maybe less if no one shows up. People are crazy. I'm going crazy. Wanna be crazy. Toys in the attic. I'm already crazy. So, Moby's here. So, 2D printing. Dun, dun. Both are working somewhat again. I've built a whole new box here for this. It's going to get a cover eventually. I need to get a fan, but I'm going to remod the head to take a different blower fan so I can use this fan for the box because I don't want to. What don't I want to do? I don't want it overheating. YouTube, you are now live. No, really? I did not know that. So, yep, blab, 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 3D printing, blah, blah, blah. I really want the E3D Hemorrhoid. I'm going to call it the Hemorrhoid because they keep changing the name on it. The Hemorrhoid extruder, Chimera, whatever it is this week. I know why they changed it, but it's just funny. Hermes, Hermara, whatever the hell they're calling it. I think that's the perfect extruder for the llama core. Don't know how I'm going to buy one, but I got no money. None. Zip, zero, zilch. But that's life. I have some rum and I have some Coke. And that's all that matters for tonight. You guys all probably think I'm an alcoholic. Pretty much every time I come on here, I'm drinking a rum and coke. But this is the same bottle. I've not had a new one. And it's barely touched. Since, I don't know, midsummer, late summer, September. Anyway, probably the last time I drank and streamed. So what's everyone else doing? It says there's a bunch of people watching, but nobody's even in chat. Need some people talking and stuff. You know, and things and stuff. So, yeah. And oh my god, this filament. This is my new favorite filament. What's up, old curmudgeon? Yeah, it is kind of probably dinner time if you're out west, huh? Or west of me. This is awesome filament. Not only do I absolutely love this color, this is Paramount 3D's Black Cherry PLA. And it is freaking gorgeous. And I printed a dragon before a friend of mine came up and helped me last week for almost 2. Actually, she came up for 4 days from Florida, and she ended up staying almost over 2 weeks because she saw what kind of nightmare I was dealing with, and helped me with because my father had kidney surgery and my mother had 2 eye surgeries. You're East Coast-ish. I'm East Coast-ish, and dinner's long over. Although it is the holidays. I haven't even had dinner. I haven't even had turkey. I've been in and out of the hospitals for freaking the last week and a half. So, yeah, that's my life. So, anyways, she, of course, left just before Thanksgiving to go back home to Florida. And the crap hit the fan again. But that's life. Anyway, I made her one of Luby's dragon, area dragon things on the pedestal out of it. This is actually the same stuff. I made a little bitty angel out of the red. Can't really tell the color in this lighting. I actually need to add a light here. Where can I turn on a light? It is awesome stuff. And it prints so well. I mean, just look at it. It's like gorgeous. It's a beautiful print. And I did nothing to the settings and the slicing. And I usually get some slicing. Some stringing. So there's that. I think I'm going to order more of it if I ever get some money. Money, funny. When get over it. So there's that. And it 3D prints, and I love that filament. And I'm kind of not really rebuilding, but cleaning up everything on the Max Micron, making it a little more. I keep rebuilding it and then not cleaning up the wires. I ran all new. I put new. I don't know if you can see it, but I actually made the plugs and cut the wires for the right lengths and covered everything, and now it's all nice and neat except for this faceplate. I'm not going to put the faceplate on until I get a fan going. I don't have a fan to get going because it's 24 volt. And all I have is that one fan. If I thought about it, I would have put the blower fan right on that. But it is what it is. I could actually just freaking stick one on there temporarily, print the faceplate. Even if I put one of the regular blower types. I think they call that their plus. The plus doesn't really mean anything. It just says Paramount 3D PLA. Black Cherry. I think they actually call it plus in their list, but it's just PLA. They probably add some chemicals to it to make it print better. And that's their actual color code right here, WMRL 3005-5 490C. It's awesome filament. I'm going to buy more. Maybe not of that. I'm going to try. I actually want to try the iron red too. That's very close. It's a little purple to match my logo. It's almost the right color. And I think the iron red might be even closer. I'm going to try the iron red next. I just don't have the time, energy, money to do it this moment. This is actually really close. But this is a little too red and that's a little too purple. Although I could just redo my logo, I guess, to the right color to match either one. But this is Polyalchemy's Merlot. And it's very close, actually. This is closer to the logo than that is. Either one of them's fine, though. I think I'm going to do like some maker coins in multicolor. I did one somewhere. I don't even know what the hell I did with it. Yeah, big one, all multicolor. Looked cool. With this stack color where you start with the red bottom and then actually I think I did white, then went to red and then did a black outline as the very highest. Whatever. Ooh, that's gonna kick. Never even had regular PLA in my hot. Well, sounds like a personal problem. PLA Plus is nothing. People don't realize. I shouldn't say it's nothing. It's chemically added. There's big differences between HT PLA, which is my actual favorite, which that is not, but I really, really like that. And then what they call HT or PLA Pluses. PLA Pluses, they add some chemicals and stuff to the, PLA when they add the color to make it flow a little better, which is nice. That's, like the Matter Hackers makes their PLA Plus. Everybody makes a PLA Plus now. I used to use eSun's PLA Plus a lot. A few others. I prefer, and you don't need the Plus if they use the 87 or the 870 or 850 resin, PLA based resin, which are HT PLAs. The 850 is, what I understand, it's like a 220-ish range print, and the 870 is 230 to 240-ish print range, and they both could be annealed and all that and made stronger. My preferred stuff, it usually prints like butter, pretty much like the PLA Pluses do. I don't know what makes those resins any better other than, I understand regular PLA is 670 or 770. HT PLA starts at 850. The really high quality HT PLA is 870. Who was I just looking at? I want to say IC3D. They don't make HT. Coax, I think, which I haven't tried yet, makes both. They have their everyday PLA like everyone has, which is just cheap, basic everyday PLA. And they have their workaday PLA, which is the 850, and then they have their pro version, which is the 870. And they go up in price because the 850 and 870 PLA is going to get more and more expensive because it got so popular. It's run out. They can't make it as fast as the demand is, so the price is getting jacked up. I don't know if you people have noticed. What is up, Minnesota Maker? Yeah, I prefer HT PLAs, but that stuff is really nice. So basic everyday PLA, I love the color. I just love that color. That black cherry, dark kind of purpley red. Love it. I will be buying more when I have money again. That's for sure. I want to try the iron red. There's a couple others. Share screen. Let's see what they have. It's probably going to come up and say I have to approve it. Oh, it didn't this time. That's unusual. Let's add a window and let's go to Paramount 3D. Paramount 3D United States, because that's where I live. Shop. And everything's lagging. Let's chat. I don't want to chat. I just want to look at your filaments. PLA. Yeah, they just call it PLA. This is the iron red. And what's funny is it's weird. They used to have the color swatches, and they used to have like the, I don't know what happened. They had the Pantone color match. That's a little more red. No stress. Just BSing anyways. Not really doing anything. Ooh, the Hannibal red. That's the other one I wanted more than the iron red. I think that's closer to my logo color. That's pretty nice. I don't know. Like I said, they used to have a Pantone color match. I guess they stopped doing that, but that is awesome. I think that's the next roll of it. Gonna have to find a way to purchase. You know, it's not cheap, but it's not ridiculously expensive. $22.99 the full roll. Actually, I think if you go on Amazon, it's like $99 or $19.99 right now. What's up, 3D Medic? Case. How much is a case? $168. Yeah, right. $22.99. What's up, Kit? Yeah, I don't know. Actually, well, I think there's a Black Friday thing. I can swear I saw one on like Amazon or something, because they sell on Amazon too. Paramount 3D. Did I spell it right? PLA. There you go. 24 Black Cherry. That's what I ordered. Deception Purple. They just have nice colors, and they have a lot of colors. Going through old papers. Yeah, I know that feeling. Hannibal Red. God, I want that. That's the next red I want to try. I just like reds, if you guys haven't noticed. This looks very similar to. It's kind of like a flat color. Sample cement gray filament. Brick red. Yeah, it's brick red, all right. Anyway. I don't do ABS, so don't like the smell. Bad for me, considering, you know, bedroom printers. I think I'm going to freshen up my drink. Just a little. Not into getting stupid. Just into relaxing. Should have started. Wow. I think I just drank that whole shot of rum in one shot. Not that it was even a shot. I didn't add that much to it. Anyway. Yeah, so that's pretty stuff. I'm liking their filament. What's the other one I wanted to try? Coax, everyone's talking about. Filament. But the other one that's got all the, I think they're the one that's got the multiple PLA Prime and Pro. Oh, 5 pounds. I was like, why is that $65? PLA Pro. There's another one I was just looking at. I don't think it was Coax. Darn it. Who was I thinking of? I think I put it in here. Flexi. 3D Fuel. That's it. I think I want to try their filament next, too. Because they do the HTPLAs. Shop by material. Yeah, the standard, Workaday, and Pro. Yeah, they're the ones. They're all true indigos. The Workaday is the 850. I like how they have all this information here, too. They have a few colors. I wish people would do more odd colors. Everyone does the same. Light blue, red, occasionally you get some peaches or biz, the yellows, the oranges, the pinks, the greens, the clears, the blues, the blacks, the gray, the white. And I know they're the more popular ones, but oh my God, that's one thing I do love about the Paramount is they have all the oddball colors. And some of them are really good. Save 25%. Workaday Autumn Orange Limited Edition. They don't even have $29, so that ain't happening. We ship worldwide, ship from the US and Ireland locations in Ireland. Wow. Did I know they were in Ireland? I wonder whatever happened to good old douchebag from Yep. Can't even think of the name now. Filament manufacturer that basically went under there because he was an idiot. I wonder if one of these is a pop-up of that. Wound up coffee filament, $35. Yeah, no. Beer filament. I could see the coffee, but I'm not going to pay extra just to have it smell like coffee for brown filament. I mean, it's just brown filament. It smells like coffee. It is kind of a cool color. It's like a semi-transparent. Due to raw material and production decisions, we will probably not have more wound-up filament available for a few weeks. Please accept our apologies. Sure. $62. Yeah, no. Just not. Yeah, Maker Geeks. That's the one. We bought a boatload of their filament back when they were actually a decent filament. And then they started screwing everyone over, including me. He made good filament when he first started, though. Fluorescent brown. Yeah. $20% off's not bad. Somewhere around here. Comparison chart for PLA. They actually had a listing of what they were. Like this is the 850 Indigo Resin 850, and the other one was the 870. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not. I still got some of their spools too, and I've been burning through it. We bought a boatload of their purple when I first started building the llama quarter. I think I still have a roll and a half of that left. Yeah, it's sad. You know, if the guy wasn't such an idiot, he could have actually made it. But he ended up being one of those. It's all about the money and getting the orders and blah, 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 instead of being about the customer service. Because as you all well know, things go wrong. The customer base, at least, in our little group world of 3D printing, if he'd come up and said, look, I'm way behind, blah, blah, blah. I need to catch up. Not going to take any orders for 2 weeks. Everyone would have been like, great. Cool. Glad you said something. I mean, you're always going to get a half a dozen people that are like, but you just ignore them, and you just move on. And, the general customer base, they appreciate honesty. I know I do. Someone's having a problem. If you come up, if I purchase something from you and you're having an issue either fulfilling it or with the actual product, if you come up and say, I'm having an issue, here's what I can do. I can refund you, I can make you wait, or whatever, blah, blah. Honesty goes a long way with most people, businesses, and that's what businesses these days are missing. You get all these big corporations and there's absolutely no honesty. It's all about just getting the almighty dollar and screwing over the customer, and just getting them stuck on whatever. So, yeah, he kind of screwed himself. A glint purple. Actually, I think they have one, don't they? They have like a glinty kind of metallic-y purple. They have a lot of nice colors. I wish I could afford them. Most of their filaments are way out of my price range. Yeah, I got one good deal. Because, just so you guys know, blah, blah, blah. 2 weeks ago, my father went in for kidney surgery on Tuesday, and my mother had her first eye surgery on Thursday, and had another eye surgery the Thursday after. And my father did the kidney surgery, and everything was fine. Came home 2 days later, everything was great. Took mom in. I had a friend up from Florida. She came and stayed with us, helped me out, deal with both elderly parents. She's supposed to be here just for the 4 days to help my mother. My father started regressing. She stayed another whole week. Actually, stayed another 10 days, I think. And my father ended up in the hospital Thanksgiving Day. I went downstairs and he was on the floor in convulsions. So I dragged him to the hospital. He's been in and out of the hospital since, the day before Thanksgiving. The night before Thanksgiving. Blah, blah, blah. So I've been sitting at the hospital for the last 3 days, and we moved him into a rehab center this morning. And he's really, 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 really not good, and really, really, really not happy. And yelling and screaming and throwing stuff and pissed off and has dementia, doesn't know where he is, keeps talking about how he's in the radioactive power plant and how they're radiating him and they're going to kill us all and out there. So anyway, that's my week. Which is why I'm drinking, because this is the first night I've been home and I don't expect any phone calls. because the rehab center can deal with it. A glint orange. So when you say glint, is that like a? I don't think I've ever used the poly or the filaments. I've seen pictures of them, but Santa's been good to me. Anyway, my brother on the way to the hospital said, "You're stressed out. Go play some video games." I'm like, "I can't. My PlayStation blew up a year ago." He's like, "What?" It's like that's what I do. My cousin plays with me, and me and him BS, and his mother's out there, and my father's out there. We used to get on there and play video games, and we don't really play. We just BS. Anyway, he's like, "Go get yourself a new PlayStation." I was like, "All right." So I was searching and figured I'd wait until next week. And I was on my way to the hospital to go see him and get him out of trouble. And the little thing came up from GameStop saying, "We open at 3 o'clock," and it was like 10 after 3. And if you make it there, we have 10 PlayStations, $100 off. So I bought a new PlayStation. Called my brother and said, "I'm going to buy it right now." He's like, "What? Wait, what? Huh?" I'm like, "I'm buying it right now, buddy." Like, okay. On sale, $100 off. So I got a new PlayStation, which I'll probably play later when my cousin signs on it. Blah, blah, blah. Life's been miserable. Get over it. No glint purple. I haven't looked at. Let's go look at filamentum. Filamentum has sparkles in it. Yeah, it's not really. It's kind of. It's almost like ground up glitter, huh? It's almost like a pearl. Filament 1. Oh, I thought you were talking filamentum. There's so many filament somethings. I think filamentum does have like a pearlized everything now. Hot ends and extruders. I so want one of these. This is the first thing that E3D has come out with. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love E3D. They come out with awesome products, but it's funny that this is the first one I've actually looked at and said, okay, that's really that should have been done years ago. Because in all reality, if you look at that and you look at my old MK8, it's the same damn thing. They just got rid of the little block and adhered the block to the cooling fins and then made fancy cooling fins. The really cool thing, there's more to it. I mean, the dual gear drives and all that. But the cooling end of it, the hot end part of it, it's basically an MK8 when you get right down to it. I mean, they made fancy fins. There used to be an aluminum block there that you screwed on. The fins would pinch onto it when you screwed the motor to it, which is the same as that. The filament path is the same as my MK8. The only real difference is, now it's geared drive. I mean, there's more to it. Don't get me wrong. I understand there's way more design and technology to it than just the old MK8. But when you get right down to it, they're kind of backstepping. And it's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I think I'll take my MK8 over the V6 any day. It actually is I think it's a better designed hot end in the sense of I can run more stuff through it. I can run my flexibles through it. I can run my PLAs through it. I can run high temp stuff through it. I know everyone loves the V6, but honestly, a properly set up and mounted MK8 was as good as a V6. I don't know there's a bunch of people that are all E3D freaking fanatics and you're saying, no way, V6 is better, but I had more problems with the V6 than I ever had with my MK8 ever. The thing's just flawless. It just works. Same structural issues? What do you mean structural issues? What structural issues? The only structural issues I see with the V6 is that it's really tall. And where the V6, here's my problem with the V6. I mean, it's not huge, but it's tall. And the mount's up here at the top. So any play, I mean, if you know a circle, you take a circle and you make it small, and any play is small. But if you make it large, that same amount of play becomes large. Oh, yes, the heat break is a weak point. Yeah, it's really not a big deal, though. You have to be abusive to break a heat break. I've bent them, and they don't break. I bent the ones on this. I didn't even realize I'd done it because their design is so close to the plate. I mean, it's a Creality knockoff hot end, but it's built wrong. And I didn't realize when I put the sock on the hot end, the sock pinned right up against the plate. And when I tightened the mount up, it actually bent my heat break. What's up, Michael Castle? Yeah, I mean, the heat break is a weak point, but that's only, you got to be, if you're, yeah, I've broken one, don't get me wrong, but you got to be abusive to break it. You got to be doing something wrong. Granted, I actually like Creality where they sent the 2 bolts up through, and the Mosquito with the bolts. Everyone's like, oh, it's gonna cool. It doesn't do a damn thing. It's they don't hurt anything. The hot end is still the hot end, and the cold end is still the cold end. Does no bearing on the filament at all. It does draw a little heat out of the hot, the heat block into the cool zone, but it's not overheating the cool zone because the cool zone is the cool zone, and that's what it does. It cools it. It's dumb. There's no problems with the 2 bolts. I agree that that's a better, using those 2 bolts holding the hot end to the cooling fins is a great idea. I don't know why E3D hasn't come along with that. Going to head home. You are working today? That's almost as bad as my week. Yeah, I could see it being an issue with the volcanoes and stuff. Now you say that, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, the volcanoes with the big lung, but their mount is at the top, and then you have your fins, and then you have the heat break, and then you have the block. Any play gets expanded. Well, with the direct mount and direct drives, when they're mounted that way, any play is small and doesn't backfeed. I think the Humera, Hermes, whatever they're calling it this week, I think that's going to be their kingpin. That's an awesome hot end from what I've seen. I mean, everyone that's seen one loves it. Anyone, you got all the YouTube influencers that already have it. I think that's a pretty damn good design. I like that better than the V6 by far. I've actually thought about something similar. I mean, don't get me wrong, nowhere near as not anything like they have, but the general concept of it's basically an MK8 again. The general direct drive, heat break or hot heat block, heat break, direct drive mounted speak time, mounted motor, everything there, set together. TL Dragon looks interesting. What is a TL Dragon? The Tom Llama Dragon? Didn't know I did a dragon. Actually, I did do a dragon a long time ago. Before I even had 3D printers. Like a long time before I did 3D printers. I did a dragon head. Just a head. Oh, Triangle Labs. Why? What are they copying? Triangle Labs is good at copying, and I don't mean that facetious. They're actually good at copying. They're a quality clone. From what I understand, again, I've never had one, but everyone reports, they're not just the Chinese knockoff, get it out the door so we can make a buck. They're usually pretty good quality. Matter of fact, what's the last E3D direct drive hot end with the plastic and all the gears? Crap. I can't keep all that stuff straight. Anyway, from what I understand, they like fixed a lot of E3D's issues with their clone. Like that plastic cover used to have the pin or the bearing that would break off or some freaking thing. They, Triangle Labs fixed it. Yeah, I don't know. Titan, yes. Titan extruder. They, from what I understand, they made a better Titan extruder than E3D did. Again, I've never had either, so I can't say for sure. I'm just going by what people have been saying and doing and reading and posting. And yeah, Triangle Labs is decent. I just wish I didn't have to go to AliExpress to get it because I can't shop AliExpress. None of my credit cards will accept it. They'll do Banggood. They'll do GearBest. They won't do AliExpress. They won't do Wish. If I refuse it, if I try and use my credit card on Wish, it just bounces. My credit card says unacceptable, fraudulent store. Same with AliExpress. Fraudulent store. Cannot purchase with our card. Please use other method. My bank won't deal with them. Too many fraudulent claim sales. Blah, blah, blah. No, they don't. Unless it's new. They never used to take PayPal. I can do it now, actually, now I think about it, because I have a PayPal credit card that I did the last time. Like 6 months ago, I did it. And it's not a credit card through PayPal. It's just my account has now a credit card access. It still won't go through. I can't use it for credit. I have to have the money in the PayPal account. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Anytime I go to use AliExpress now, my credit card just says, nope. Can't do it. Flat refuse. They said, oh, no. Wish, AliExpress, there was like 3 or 4 that I'd never even heard of. DL Express, which I actually used to use years and years and years ago when they first came out. I used DL Express long before Banggood and GearBest and all them came out. Now it's just DL, I think. They won't take them anymore either. Too many knockoff products, complaints, back charges, blah, 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 wrong items, especially Wish. They sent out a whole email blast and letters. I'm going to have to look at that. This is the Dragon. I think I actually have heard of this. Yeah, that's the semi-knockoffy, but not of the Mosquito. But I actually kind of almost like it better. Again, they don't just direct clone. They usually look at stuff and say, how can we make it even better than they did? And I do like that. I like the 4 cooling and more structure. What are they getting for it? I mean, they're not cheap, $70. Standard 69, high flow 74. I mean, it's the same concept. Here's the thing, though. The actual through tube / heat break, which is not really a heat break, but this thing right here with this design, and honestly, even what's up, Jake? Matty Jake's here. This has to be like super polished, and that's actually the mosquitoes have this issue. They're really not good for PLA. All metal hot ends are just not great for PLA. You get PLA jams and stuff. So if this isn't like super properly polished, this tube right here, you're gonna get jams. And I don't know if Triangle Labs is at that price actually polishing them to the point where they'll work reliably. But yeah, you can't use PayPal. There's no PayPal. 4.1 millimeter heat break. PTFE line. Oh, see, that's not bad. And I know a lot of people think, "What's up, One Raz?" I know there's a lot of people that think PTFE is a bad thing and blah blah. PTFE is a good thing. They actually came out with PTFE after the all metal to fix the issues. If you're running PLA, you are better off with a PTFE lined hot end. Not that you can't run PLA through an all metal hot end. It's just easier with a PTFE lined hot end. You'll get less jams. You'll get a smoother extrusion. You get a more consistent extrusion with PTFE lined with PLA. Only with PLA. And there's the issue. If you're going to run PTG and ABS and ASS or ASA or anything else, yes, you want all metal. Or both. And that's where it comes in. I was actually thinking about doing a video because I got a bunch of hot ends that I switch back and forth that are all set up. So I can literally switch my hot end in 5 minutes to an all metal. This is my all metal with a 0.6, I think, for the llama car. And it's literally, heat up, pull the filament out, pull the one screw, unplug, plug, slide it in, screw it in. Less than 5 minutes, I could switch it out. And I kind of burned through a few, but I was setting it up, and I think I might again where I have the heat blocks and everything. So not only can I switch from all metal, but I can go to a 0.6 or a 0.4 or a 0.8 or whatever nozzle I want, and it's a 2-minute switch. And this is like $15 maybe. So for $15 you can have like an instant switch out. Everything is plugged. Your thermistor's plugged, your hot end's plugged. You make it to fit your printer, done. And then you can switch them out anytime you want. Yeah, here's another one. Really, the hard part is remember which one's which that has one in it. I gotta find a new way to mark them somehow. Yeah. And I mean, there's people that get all metal to work just fine with PLA. Great. Not everyone does. It's not as easy. It's just like everyone says, oh, it's just as easy to print PETG as PLA once you get it set up. Once you get it set up. The key word is once you get it set up, meaning it's not as easy. PETG is not as easy to print as PLA. It just isn't. You might get lucky and get your settings right the first time around. Yay, great. Not everyone does. I find PETG harder to print with than ABS. ABS, I didn't have any problems with ABS. The only reason why I don't do it is my bedroom. I sleep here. I don't want that nasty crap in my air when I'm sleeping. And I might have to go get another coat. That ain't enough. Well, it depends on the setup. Honestly, it also depends on the atmosphere and conditions. And I swear a lot of the differences people have are atmospheric, which I'm actually surprised you don't have a problem. Because I swear part of my issue with all metal is the salt in the air. And I know you got to have as much, if not more, because you're actually in the middle of the island, but you're still on the freaking island. Even though I'm closer to the water, technically, you're more surrounded by the salt air. And I think the salt is what makes it rots everything in my house constantly. Pretty much all of my printer issues are salt in the air based. There's just so much salt in the air here. I am closer to the actual water than you are, I think. How close are you to the water, Jake? Matt. Calling Jake. Jakey Matt. Batty Jake. You're like in the middle of the island, aren't you? Oh, are you close to the water? Because my driveway ends. I mean, you don't see it on my driveway because the train tracks are in the way and they're built up like 100 feet. But I'm at the water. The only thing between me and the water is the train tracks and a small swamp. I mean, I'm a mile-ish from the sound, but I'm really not because at the end of my driveway is a pond and it's brackish water. It's, if the tide's up, it's salt water. If the tide's low, it's fresh water. Oh, I didn't realize. I thought you were in the middle of the island. I thought you were like dead center, closer to like the city. Cool. Frickin' beach snob. No. You're a beach snob. You're a Long Island beach snob. I loved Long Island. It was so pricey and so obnoxious, but I was right there at that. I don't know exactly where you are on the island. I know you're out there, but I was in that ridge area. So I could literally go 5 minutes east and be in like the fields and the vineyards and the, kind of in the sticks of the island. It's a quiet town. Or I could go 5 minutes west and be in the city. I love Long Island. It's pricey. It's stupid, ridiculous the amount of taxes because people don't realize not only do you get federal taxes and state taxes, now you have county taxes, and then sometimes you have some kind of local community tax. I mean, the taxing on Long Island was just unreal expensive. Probably 3/4 of my income went to freaking taxes. Oh, you're out on Long Beach. Oh, you are out on the water. You're dating a girl from Connecticut? We're in Connecticut. We're going to have to hook up. Go hang out sometime. Sometime I can get the hell away from hospitals and rest homes and elderly people. How are you dating a girl from Connecticut? How are you dating a girl? Sorry. I had to be a douche. Yes, and government is corrupt up there. That is, people don't realize mafia is real. Oh, Chester. Dude, Chester's like right there. 5 minutes away. Are you going across the Bridgeport ferry or the Orient Point, New London ferry? Yeah, just because are you driving all the way out and around the frickin' Trog Bridge? you're going to Chester, you might actually be better off driving all the way up the island, taking the Orient Point ferry to New London and then over. Even though it seems longer, the drive that is from the William Floyd Parkway to Orient Point Ferry. It's probably some of the nicest driving I've ever done. Even though the traffic does get crappy like all Long Island traffic, but it's just scenic and nice, and it's a nice drive from the William Floyd Parkway up 25 or 25A, depending on which one you're taking, to Orient Point. Is just, it's nice. I like going out to Orient Point. I loved Orient Point too. I prefer the Bridgeport ferries. Are brand new ferries. They're not anymore. This was 10 years ago when I was going back and forth. So they were brand new ferries. And I mean brand new when I was going across. I still preferred Orient Point because, for one, it's closer for me. And you're driving up Orient Point, you're driving up Long Island through all the vineyards, and it's scenic, instead of Connecticut up 95. And Connecticut is like the LIE with only 2 lanes. Imagine if the LIE only had 2 lanes. That is Connecticut 95. It's worse. 95 in Connecticut is worse than the LIE. I would spend more time to drive up to Orient Point than I would to go across the Bridgeport Ferry to come up 95 or to go up 25 or 25A. Because I used to live right in Ridge. And I worked in the Coram area. I mean, it's probably longer, and the ferries going from New London to Orient Point are freaking antiques. The one cool thing is 1 or 2. I think they have 2 now. 2 of the ferries are so old. Check this out, and they have like big plaques, and they've got awards and stuff. I think they got 2 of them now. Of the ferries were actually World War II D-Day ferries. They like landed on the beach during D-Day. They got like big plaques on them and histories, and yeah, I'd rather going across the trunk bridge and back up is just the worst nightmare you ever had, because you're LIE to the Trog. It's blah highway on the LIE. Then you hit Connecticut 95, and it's the LIE with only 2 lanes. Connecticut, 90% of 95 is 2 lanes. Plus, you're going to go through Milford, and you're going to go through Bridgeport, and you're going to go through freaking New Haven, and all 3 of them have major reconstruction of bridges and crap. The other difference is if you get seasick, you don't want to go across the Orient Point Ferry, because the Orient Point Ferry, remember, is now at the neck. You're at the roughest part of the water between the Sound and the actual open ocean, because you're on it. That is the break. The island ends, ocean, Sound, and you're traveling right up the crotch of it. And that's some of the roughest water you'll ever be in. So the Orient Point Ferry is freaking rough. If there's any kind of weather, I mean, even mildly obnoxious, it's a rough ride. Where the Bridgeport Ferry is much smoother because it's, all inside the Sound. Yeah, after 9/11, that's when I was going back and forth most of the time, back in 9/11. They were investigating my van every time I got on the ferry and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, we had kind of a big, it was a windstorm. It wasn't a hurricane or anything because it wasn't even raining that much, but it was ridiculous winds. Like, I was the last ferry across. They were getting ready to turn everyone around, tell them to go back, but they couldn't because the causeway flooded. blah, blah, blah. So they put us on the ferry and said, we're going to take our time and we're going to cross. So they put us on the ferry, and we were, I mean, it was like 80, 90 mile an hour winds. It was like hurricane, but there was no rain. There was nothing. It was just wind. We're coming across, and the boat is rocking, and I'm sitting there in the bar, and I get mildly seasick, but I can usually, if I go outside and stare at the horizon, I can settle it. But there was a bunch of Navy SEALs and all kinds of Navy personnel that, after 9/11, the boats were just covered in security and Navy personnel and blah, blah, blah. And there's like dozens of the Navy people freaking hanging over the guardrails, puking their guts out. And here I am sucking down rum and cokes. They're like, "How are you drinking this?" And the boat's going, we're talking a big ass ferry. We're not talking some little. This is a monster. That was when I discovered that the ferry was at D-Day, because I was walking around. Everyone on the boat was out on the freaking guardrails puking their guts out. And I'm walking around just, check crap out. There's a huge plaque on it describing how that boat had been in, the D-Day invasion and how it, got blown up, and they towed it back and did all kinds of stuff to restore it. And actually, it went down to like Malaysia or something for 10 or 20 years, and then got transported back up to New London. And, the ferry company rebuilt it. It's actually kind of cool history. They have a huge plaque with this whole, like, what the boat's been through. It was built in, like, the 20s or something, and been rebuilt, and new motors, and went from original, like, I don't know. I want to say it was originally like a coal steam engine, and now it's diesel or something like that. I don't remember But if you do it and you hit that one, you got to read it, because it's actually kind of cool. I think they have two of them. I think they grabbed another one. They used to have 8 boats, and I think they have 10 or 12 now. Because Crosstown Ferry does the Block Island and everything too. It's all one. They call it Block Island Ferry. It's one company. Actually, Orient Point isn't the end. Montauk is the end. Montauk sticks out farther than Orient Point, but you're in the ocean. Once you go past West Nile Isle, you're in the ocean. You can see it. You pull out of them docks and you arc around, and you come out of West Nile Isle, which I call it that, and I can't even think of its actual name anymore. What's the real name of the isle? We call it West Nile Isle around here because people don't realize West Nile virus came from the government chemical crap there. Orient Point, and anyway, you come out between Orient Point and that island, and you hit that open ocean current. It's a whole new. You literally can see it. If you go out on the bow of the boat, you can see, like, water, waves, and then all of a sudden you'll see like 100 feet out from the island, and all of a sudden there'll be these huge rolling 6-foot rollers. And bigger. 6 foot is on a good day. When the boat hits those. But you don't want to go on the Caribbean. Do not get on the Caribbean unless you like rocking and rolling. The Caribbean's like a little itty bitty freaking fishing trawler it only takes 10 cars. It is tiny. The Caribbean, you don't want to get on the Caribbean. That's a nightmare. That's another antique. I think that's like a 1920s or 1930s boat that takes like 10 or 12 cars. That's the half-hour one. Never do the half hour. Always do on the hour. There's 2 little ones that they do on the half hours. It would be like 10. If it's 10:30 when you get on the boat, your reservation, you're going to be on one of the 2 small boats. You always want 10 or 11. Don't do 10:30. Because the half-hour ones are the tiny boats. Which actually you don't have a problem right now because they aren't even running right now. They only run them in the summer. And on weekends, I think. What's up, Mr. Buttram? Thought you weren't going to stream. You weren't going to be around. You had family crap. I shouldn't call it crap. Family's good. It's just driving me nuts lately. Anyway, back to 3D printing. New 3D printers. So the friend of mine that came up and was here to help me out for 2 weeks wouldn't even hang out in my room very much. Because, like, this is, even though it's my bedroom, it's more of a living room in the house because my mother's got so much junk. You can't, and you can't see it, but there's a whole entertainment center right there where you guys are. Anyways, we'd sit here and watch movies. She couldn't handle it because the creepy robots. She called them creepy robots in my room. It's like, I can't hang out in there. You got creepy robots. I'm like, they're not even running. Yeah, but they're creepy and they're robots. But she loved all the crap. She took home a bunch of 3D printed crap, but she couldn't hang out with the creepy robots. Where am I? I'm in Oline. I'm on. If you look at the map and you look at Orient Point, I am dead ass north of Orient Point. If I get on my roof and I stare directly south, I'm staring at the Orient Point Lighthouse. I'm right at the mouth of the Connecticut River. Old Lyme. Ever heard of Lyme disease? This is where it came from. The girl who I'm talking about came up from Florida. I've known her since we were tiny. Our parents used to hang out together. Her little sister was the first person ever to be diagnosed with Lyme disease. Right? Or the second person. First was I don't know. There was a group of like 10 of them. What's up, RCCNC? I actually want to talk to you soon because I want to see if you're willing to do some prototype seeing. I'm a young old fart. You're an old fart because you have children and you let them walk on you. Probably literally. That's why you're an old fart, Mudro. You have kids. That will age you rapidly. All my brothers have kids. I should say all my brothers. My second oldest brother doesn't. Everyone goes, why don't you have children? You're so good with them. Because I've always had dated girls with kids and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not going to have any children. For one, I can't. Long story, but I can't. And two, even if I could, not going to happen. And they're like, why? And I go, I was a douchebag as a kid. You think I'm going to subject myself to me? I know what kind of an idiot I was as a kid. How miserable I made my parents. I was not a good child. I was an ass, to put it mildly. No way I'd put myself through having a little me. The world does not need a little me. One of me is enough. Wait a minute. How can Mr. RCCNC not have a CNC? I thought you worked for a CNC company. Isn't that what you do for a living? That was the impression I got. I mean, I know you had some for play, but I thought you actually like sold CNC machines, like nice ones. That was the impression I got. Isn't that what you do? Well, you own a CNC company. Same difference, except for. But you actually make the CNC machines. You're not using them and selling CNC stuff. You're actually making the machines. That's what I thought. So how could you not have a CNC? It baffles me. Yeah, exactly. You manufacture CNC machines. I think I remember way back when we first started BSing on here, you showed me a link to your stuff, and it was all like really nice, high-end tabletop ones. I don't even want to say hobby, borderline professional grade tabletop CNCs. Robots, dragons chasing dragons, robots making robots. What time is it? 9 o'clock. I was talking to my cousin. I forgot all about that, and he might want to goof off. Okay, that didn't work. I'm only going to do this for an hour. It's been well over an hour. I don't know how long, but it's been over an hour. But he has not responded, so not an issue. I do think I need some more coat because I got plenty of room and I'm out of coat. So I got a question. How many of you actually seen the thumbnail / preview icon? Do you like my little blah 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 icon? Not icon. Thumbnail, image, whatever you want to call it. So my last one had one being sent from China. Wait a minute, I thought you were manufacturing. Why are you having it sent from China? Kidding. Am I familiar with Deep River? Yes. I lived in Deep River for a very, very short time. Not that I lived in Deep River. My brothers lived in Deep River when I was like 14. And during the summers, I would move out of my parents' house and go live with my brothers. Because my brothers, even when I was like 13, 14, I was into construction and remodeling houses, and I was good at it, better at it then than I am now, I think. My brothers used to get apartments under the pretense of they'd remodel it and they'd get discounts on the rent. So they would basically let me live in the house and I would remodel the house for them. And, I hang out for the summer. And so I rebuilt a couple of houses in Deep River for them when I was 13, 14. Deep River is nice, dude. Deep River is a classic New England town. If you're into the serious New England, tight streets, you go from the town, inner city town. It's not a city because it's basically a half a mile of stores and crap. And then you're in the woods. Deep River is nice. The only thing you don't want to do in Deep River or Chester is try to put a fence or build because it's rock. It's a ledge. It's an old volcanic / ledge. You dig down about 4 feet and there's no more soil. It's just solid rock. Deep River, Chester, all that area. If you have to put a foundation for a house in, you got to blast. Dynamite, boom, blow up the rock. Well, that's cool. Dave Gann. What, Vikings going away? It's only like 9:30, which means it's only like, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning at his place. And he's actually going. He must have something good to do. Later, Viking. Somebody want to hop in here so they don't have to listen to my half stupid half. Jump on in. That's kind of what I'd like to do, Michael. I've always done woodworking and everything. I would like to get a CNC for wood carving, making like signs and fancy. Because I used to hand make. That was my thing. I used to like make handmade, scrolly, fancy. The corner crap on fences and cornices for houses, and that was my thing. But I got kind of old and my eyesight's gone down and I can't see to drive a freaking jigsaw or bandsaw or scroll saw anymore. I just can't do it. Everything I've done in the last 5 years has been crap because I literally can't see what the hell I'm doing. So I would like to be able to do it on CNC where I can pop it in, push the button, have it come out, hit it with some sandpaper, coat it, send it off. I don't even want to coat it. That's the other thing I always hated doing was painting and finishing, and I like making it and then sending off to someone else to make it look final pretty. 3:17. Hey, Tom, go to bed, will you? Fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. Go to freaking bed. I think, Viking, you should move to the U.S. because you're on U.S. time anyways. You hang out with us more than you hang out on your own people. It seems, anyways. I think I'm going to make a CNC myself someday. Someday soon. The whole do-it-yourself DIY ones. I have plenty of little palm routers. I have 3 of them now. I think I have 4 of them, actually. What do I even have? I have a rail, no, not rail, rigid, which, believe it or not, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I still got to think my rigid is my favorite. I can't believe I'm saying that, but my rigid is my favorite palm router. I have a Bosch, which I absolutely hate. Sorry, but the Bosch palm router is a piece of crap. I think I have a Makita still. If I haven't gotten, did I give it away? I think I'm going to give it away. And I have the newer DeWalt, not really palm routers, that new kind of halfway in between a palm router and a real router. And that I actually like. And I'm not a big DeWalt fan, but it's nice. But of the palm routers, I kind of say my rigid is probably my favorite. It's powerful, it's small, it adjusts easy, it was cheap. And I don't mean cheap quality, it was cheap price. I've had it forever, too. It's probably the longest one I've had. I've sold off all my other ones. I've had the Porter Cable big ones. I've had the Bosch big ones. Got rid of them all. And I use that rigid palm router more than any of them. I use it constantly. That is my go-to palm router. It's my go-to router. I use it for everything. I can pretty much anything even the big routers do, I can pretty much do with that palm router. On a job site. It's not a shop router. It's a job site / palm router. Yeah, well, that's the problem. Is a good quality CNC is. I ain't got that kind of money. If I do it, I'm gonna take crap I have out in my garage and haphazardly build it out of whatever I got laying around and use like an old 3D printer board to run it. And CNCs are still kind of pricey, which they really shouldn't be when you think about it. I mean, a 3D printer is so freaking, although 3D printer does not need to be as rigid as a CNC. I don't know. I think that's my next toy because that's where I'm going to actually have to go to actually make money and start going back to work because can't do it by hand anymore. For one, it's too costly. It's too time consuming. Pretty much unnecessary with CNCs. So if I can get the initial investment of a halfway decent CNC, I go back to working and probably work less, make as much, if not more money. But that's that. Somebody jump in there. I sent the link. Jump in. Come on, RCCNC. Actually, I want to talk to you about CNCs and everything. Jump in. I sent you a link. Jump in. I sent you a link. Jump in. I need somebody to come in here so I can go get some more Coke and not just have blank room playing. Well, it's only going to stream for an hour. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. I used to love, and I mean, I'm talking old time, not new Lowe's Craftsman, old time real Craftsman when Sears and Craftsman were real equipment. Even then, everyone bragged about the Craftsman routers, and I did not like them. Never have. Didn't like the Craftsman routers. I think I still got one laying around somewhere. I never liked them. They were oversized, underpowered, chattered, floppy. Of the big routers I've had over the years, I would say Porter Cable back when Porter Cable was Porter Cable and not whatever the hell crap they are now. I think they're Black and Decker garbage now. Actually, no. Who bought out Porter Cable? Oh no, Hitachi got bought out. Porter Cable is now Black and Decker, if I remember correctly. Bosch, if you got the big one, and the old, if you can find the old Porter Cables, were the best too. But Bosch of the big, like 2, 3, 4 amp horsepower, I should say. Those were the real router, router table routers that I always liked. I never really liked the Craftsman. They were just oversized, underpowered, flimsy, wobbly. The freaking bearings were always loose. I had nothing but problems with them. That freaking rigid, dude. I'm telling you, my rigid palm router, I do stuff with that palm router I used to do with full size 2, 2.5, 2 3/4 horsepower. I do with that palm router. It's amazing what that stupid little rigid will do. Yeah, Craftsman's gone to crap. I will say, I recently, a year and a half ago, the Craftsman job site boxes that you can get at Lowe's, they stack up and they unclip and they roll around and everything. They're better than anybody else's, and they're like $80. And oh my God, my boss bought all Milwaukee's. One of the guys I worked with bought DeWalt's, and those Craftsmen smoke them. The The DeWalt just fall apart. I'm sorry, the DeWalt boxes, the tool boxes when they roll around, and they all, you throw your junk in them, and they have 3 or 4 parts and shelves, and they all snap together. Craftsman smoke them all. The Milwaukee's are pretty rugged, but oh my god, the price is ridiculous. DeWalt bought it up pretty good, yeah. Or Delta, I mean, yeah, that's what it was. I thought it was Black and Decker. Actually, I think Black and Decker owns Delta, don't they? I don't know. They all keep changing hands and buying each other out. It's just like Hitachi. Hitachi's now Milauto or Melbo or whatever the hell that company is. Because that's one thing. Hitachi kind of went downhill, but the one thing they always held, Hitachi had the best 10-inch, I shouldn't say the best, but the best current, longest lasting, most accurate sliding 10-inch miter box. The only one I liked better was the old Makita 1013 sliding chop box, which you haven't been able to get since mid-90s. I mean, literally like 25 years ago. And they're still, if you look them up on eBay, they're selling for thousands of dollars. To get that Makita 1013, you can still buy them used for like thousands of dollars because they were the best. Now Makita's making the worst crap for sliding chop boxes. They're inaccurate. And then it was the Hitachis. Most of my stair guys used all Hitachis because they were stiff and rigid. And both the 10 and 12 inch, when you cut it, something on that line, it stayed on that line. There was no flex. Now they're all Metabo or Metibo or whatever they are. And prices dropped, and so has the quality. I don't know. They keep switching hands and changing out. If you look up, there's like some Asian company that owns them all or makes them all or whatever. Yeah, I'm not a big Bosch fan. I've kind of shied away from Bosch. 99% of my tools are Makita now, and it's Makita or Milwaukee for pretty much anything. And I gotta say, Milwaukee has a slight edge over Makita, but I actually prefer the Makita because Makita is more standardized and a lot lighter. Like the cordless drills and stuff are a little less power than Milwaukee for the Makita, but the Makitas are like half the weight, and they got almost as much power. They're a little less ballsy, but they're way smaller and lighter. Makita's easier to manage, and I'll take the having to switch the battery a little more often to have the lighter weight, smaller size, and more mobility. I kind of fade away from Bosch. Everything I have now, Bosch has just been. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not. It's just blah. It's one little step above homeowner grade. I have both I had all three. I had Makita, I had Milwaukee, and I still have Bosch 12 volt, putzing around tools. And I actually use them a lot on job sites because they are so small and light. And I still have the Bosch. I still have the Milwaukee. I got rid of the Makita, but just because somebody wanted it and he had a bunch of tools and I didn't need all three. And I use the Bosch around here, literally here. But I would not use it out on a job site. It's too wimpy. The Milwaukee is my go-to for 12 volt. If you're doing 12 volt, a little lightweight. Oh my god, the 12 volt Sawzall is just amazing. A little like itty bitty thing. I still have it. I won't get rid of it. Love it. I'm not big on the Bosch. Which is funny because I think Bosch bought out Milwaukee. People don't realize, but I think Bosch now owns Milwaukee and has for a couple of years. When you look at their tools, they're almost interchangeable. They're the only two that have that 12-volt Sawzall-y kind of, that weird shaped Sawzall. It's like the weirdest thing you've ever seen. And the Bosch one looks exactly like the Milwaukee. And Milwaukee is Sawzall. People don't realize. Otherwise, it's a reciprocating saw. It's not Milwaukee. It's a reciprocating saw. What's up, Michael Fox? I still got to send you some stuff. Dude, email me your address again. I actually went to send it to you, and I couldn't find it. I know you texted it to me or emailed me. I went switching and looking, and I couldn't find your actual mailing address. And I was going to send you a couple of patches and a few other things. I need your actual mailing address. So send me your address. And I need to get some more Coke so I can have another rum and Coke. Not that I really need them. I've been on here an hour and a half. I should probably get off. 9:30. I'm going to have to go to the rest home. Fucking at 7 o'clock in the morning. Just know it. Anyway. So anyway, nobody jumping in here. I know you just got here. No, I went to actually last week. I was mailing out stuff to people, and I was going to send you a couple little just stupid crap. And I couldn't find your address. I think you texted it to me and it got lost, or did it on Facebook or something. Well, grab a white Russian. Or a black Russian. Or any Russian. Linked. There be the link. I gotta stop eating junk food. I'm getting fat again. Not that I stopped being fat recently, but I think I'm gaining weight again. It is winter time. Gotta put on my hibernation weight. I need to just lose weight. Tired of being fat. I could use your help. Oh, is that from Halloween? Oh, see, I'm getting tired now. Been sitting here yakking to myself for too long. Yeah, I figured that. I figured that. I just saw I could use your help from Halloween from the sledgehammer-y thing. Ow. What did I do to my thumb? Like a wound on my thumb. Little minor one right there. Just annoying. Just annoying.
Greetings.
What's up?
Is my audio okay?
No, it's like wicked lag in your audio.
Any better?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Okay.
It's still kind of weird. I mean, and I'm doing it straight through StreamYards, and it's kind of lagging. It's like I see your mouth move, and then the sound comes out.
Oh, well, it might be because I'm still eating a little bit of pie here.
Pie?
Yep. Lady Fox's pumpkin pie.
So many stupid, dirty jokes going through my head. Anyway. What's up? I was going to send you some patches the other day, and I couldn't find your address.
No. Well, I didn't.
That's a really nice T-shirt, dude.
You like that?
I do like that.
You know, all of those T-shirts that I bought, the one of those purple ones didn't have anything on it.
What do you mean?
There was nothing printed on it. It was just a purple T-shirt that they sent me.
The last time?
Yeah, whenever I ordered all those T-shirts at one time.
Way back in the beginning, or
yeah. Well, that second batch that I ordered several more and ordered some more of these orange ones, I also ordered some purple ones. And
you like
one of
them?
Yeah, one of the purples didn't have anything printed on it at all.
Did you email them and say there's nothing printed on it?
No, because it was like 2 months after I had ordered it. It's like, what am I going to say?
2 months. It's usually 2 weeks. Because I got it set up. They do a printing every 2 weeks.
Yeah, but like I said, it had been a while since I'd gotten it, and I just had it stacked in a pile of my shirts, and I had gotten to that one, and I'm looking at it. There's nothing on it.
I would email them.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, it's really not, because I was looking at them. You pay almost that much for those T-shirts. Those are actually quality T-shirts.
Oh, yeah, they're nice
T-shirts. T-shirts. They're not cheap crap.
Well, you can get some cheap ones in there. I saw where you could go in and you could select a different kind of T-shirt.
Yeah, well, I have it set up so you can get the regular ones, but even the regular ones are Hanes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they're all nice T-shirts.
They're Hanes, and the ones that are like $2 more are Fruit of the Loom, hefty or high grade or.
Yeah. No, I didn't turn on my light effects.
Did you just try and jump in all conventions? Or RC? Somebody just tried to jump in. I saw it flash up and then disappear again. In the green room.
Yeah, I was on last night with Tanny for about 2 or 3 hours. And finally got my cameras working in StreamYards. So.
Okay, it's working fine. Somebody popped up in the green room and disappeared before I can even click on it and get them in here. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was RC saying, nope, couldn't even connect you with audio. Okay. Probably him.
So, yeah, it's been a while since I got you on.
Huh?
It's been a while since I caught you on.
Yeah. I haven't been on. Been too busy dealing with reality.
Yeah, I kind of figured that was a bit of it.
Reality is pretty much taking over my life.
Oh, well, doesn't it always?
Unfortunately.
Let me try again on that. You asked for my address.
I think I went through. I just haven't looked.
I didn't write anything on it. I just said hi on it.
Oh, yeah. Hi. Hi.
Well, you couldn't remember my email address, so that was where my brain stopped.
Oh, RC. Why wasn't it working, RC? What was going on? Try it again. Is it a StreamYard thing you can't connect to, or your internet just sucks and you can't connect to anything? What happened?
There you go. Now my address is in there.
All right. It was just a bunch of crap. Did you ever do anything with that board?
Not yet, but I'm going to.
Well, you should immediately, like now.
Well, I started a different project.
Well, don't.
Well, I put, as you can see my Prusa's back here.
Yeah.
See, I put LED bars on them. Did you see my
Yeah,
video on that?
You could have a custom-made, homemade, awesome Prusa, because that's basically, it was Einzy, Prusa Einzy.
Well, that's what the bear is down there. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. That's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to make another bear. So,
You got to do it with the LDO, like fancy colored extrusions now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the black, the basic black.
I kind of like some of them colors. I wish they had more colors.
Yeah.
I wish I could buy extrusion colors other than black and silver.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me send you this link of what my project is. I'll send it to you in private chat.
Here it is, more shit. It's funny. I have to go get more Coke and pee.
Uh-oh. There's a link. I'm building that.
Where's the link?
I put it in the private chat.
Oh. I see that though. Why didn't it let me link it? Let's go take a look. Triple Lab Bench Power Supply. Yeah, have fun with that.
Yeah, well, when I was putting those LED bars on, the LEDs are 12 volt and a Prusa 24 volt. Well, the only way I could source 24 volts to set the buck converter was to actually jimmy it into the Prusa power supply to do the adjusting before I could actually do the installation. So I decided, okay, I need to build a power supply. I was going to just make a little, like what everybody else does, take an old XT power supply and build one out of. Problem again, highest voltage they go to, 12 volts.
Don't you know you can just split the wires in half and you take it 24 and you make it 12?
Not quite work that way.
It doesn't quite work that way.
Yeah, but so
no, it does not.
Yeah. So I decided to go ahead and order all the parts and print up all the pieces and all of that. So that's my current project. Of course, the parts. After I ordered all the parts, I started adding it all up.
He's here. You there? Dude, I know you can stream. I've seen you stream before. You've been on my streams before.
Has he been on your streams with StreamYard?
Maybe not. Probably with Hangouts.
Okay. Yeah. Now, see, I had to install XSplit in order to get mine to work, get my camera and stuff to work.
It's weird because StreamYard just works for me. I just go in and freaking say go, and it just does it.
Yeah, but because you're the host of it.
No, but even when I join other people's, like,
but in order to get my camera and mics to go in, it won't. I use OBS.
Yeah, see, that's your problem.
Yeah, and see, if you're
going to access with StreamYards, just go direct through StreamYard, screw OBS and all that crap.
Yeah. So I use
that. Makes it more complicated unnecessarily.
Yeah, but all my cameras and everything is all set up for OBS. So
yeah, but StreamYards will still link directly to them. You don't need to run OBS.
Yeah. But
you just go into StreamYards and say hook up, and it does it.
Yeah, but then my Stream Deck, I have to redo my Stream Deck.
Well, I don't have a Stream Deck.
I do.
It just seems like all that excess crap is just crap for something like this.
It makes it a lot easier for me.
Professional videos, it's worth it, but
nah.
Nothing professional about me.
Well, and not much professional with me either, but makes it a little easier for when I'm putting together content videos, do cameras and stuff like that.
I actually have a bunch of videos. I got most of the recordings done for, and I just haven't done any editing because I just haven't had the energy or the time. Every time I've had the time, I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
I got like 3 or 4 videos all recorded, ready to go. I just got
Yeah,
editing them all together.
same thing with me. Have you seen my latest 2, which was my
I haven't.
UFO box and my Profi box? Well, I get them at the first of the month.
On YouTube, but
yeah, I got them at the first of the month, and it took me this long just to get the videos put together for them. So,
okay, I gotta go. I'll be right back. I'm hearing banging downstairs, and that usually means there's issues.
uh-oh. Yep, go ahead.
I'll be back.
Okay.
I gotta get Coke anyways and take a pee. I'll be right back. Talk a lot.
Talk a lot? Oh, well, I don't know about talking a lot. I just got to start paying attention to the chat here. Yeah, RC, if you're trying to use OBS, it won't work because I couldn't get it to work either. Okay, not sure what that dragged the piece of wire across across the floor. What's that? What are you hooking Cat 5 cables to? Oh, I'm doing all right. Working on some projects. Where did that go? Oh, there we go. Here's my latest project. That's the faceplate for my power supply that I'm building once I get all of the parts. Oh, you're using hard wires for streaming? Well, it's probably a little more reliable than mine. I Wi-Fi all of mine, and I hate it when I'm in the middle of doing something, then all of a sudden my Wi-Fi drops out. Oh, I'm building it from the ground.
Mom dropped a cookie jar on her toe.
Oh.
Just more of a, when you get pissed off.
Yeah.
It's not even that it hurt that much. It's just you did it because you're a dumbass and she was just pissed off. So she was banging on shit and stuff. So anyway. Yep.
Where'd that go? I just had it because I sent it to Tom here. Copy.
Oh, they're talking all technical crap now about power supplies and CDXs and CXBs and bases and I don't know.
There you go. Here comes a link.
He's Thingiverse.
Yeah.
Is that the one you sent earlier?
Yeah, that's the one I sent. Sending it out for the guys in chat to see.
Gotcha. I'm actually starting to get a little chilled.
Oh yeah, it actually warmed up today. Here,
it's not that you can hear it, but there's probably a 30-40 mile an hour consistent wind, probably 50 or 60 gusts.
oh well,
and it's 29 degrees Fahrenheit out.
Oh yeah, well we're at like 30 right now with said 50-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, which I don't mind.
Gusting to 40, gusting to 60 or 70, they say, but
Yeah,
I say it's just a normal 50-mile-an-hour wind.
I prefer cool over hot any day of the week. I'm freaking happy in the 40s and the 50s. You get below freezing, and it's like, no, can't do it anymore. I mean, for a day or two, I'm okay, but it's been like, we're supposed to get like 3 days of snow now, like 3 days starting tonight.
Yeah, I know. We sent it that way. It came through here first.
I mean, it's just like light flurries constantly, from what I understand. There's not going to be any like down heavy,
Well, they were forecasting when it came through here, they were forecasting that we'd get 14 inches.
Yeah.
And I think
you're out in the Midwest, so you always get that crap.
Well, I think we actually only got probably 6 inches at best. And it wasn't real bad. It was the next storm system that came through Thanksgiving evening that dumped some freezing rain on us.
Well, that's our problem. Is they're talking snow, then convert to freezing rain, then back to rain, then back to snow, and then back to rain, which means trees falling, branches being ripped out, power lines being destroyed.
Yep, it's coming. It's already been through here. The freezing rain part was Thursday night. We're getting another blast of snow right now, but it's not that bad.
Yeah. But that's the one good thing about being here on the shore is nothing ever sticks here because the ground is still, the sound is like 55 degrees.
Yeah.
So the ground, anything that falls on the ground right here where I'm less than a mile from the water, from the actual ocean, nothing will stick. It'll fall on the ground and it'll just melt.
Yeah.
The only problem is the crap in the trees. If it gets in the trees and then melts and then ices over and then refreezes and then snow falls on it, I'm going to have power outages everywhere because the trees are all going to break and fall down and blah, 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 whine, snivel, bitch, moan.
Well, Mr. Bertram, yes, it does look pretty complicated, and yes, it is very, very cool, I think. As far as how much it cost, that it got a little spooky there. I think I got all the parts ordered for right around $3.5 for all the parts. If you
$3,500?
No, yeah.
Freaking power supply?
Well, it's a triple power supply. So I can do three separate power levels at the same time.
We were all into that crap. I mean, that's sort of what you do for a living anyways, right?
Yeah. But the big thing about it is like I said, not a lot of boards that I work on require multiple voltages at the same time. So, but like I said, it was about $350 for the parts from Amazon. If I'd have gone to Banggood, I probably could have gotten it under $300 for the parts.
I might actually be able to register my car tomorrow. Oh no, I won't. Tomorrow's Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got a very.
Oh, you guys will love this. I can even prove it. Check this out. So, I've had my van almost 12 years. Register it, never had a problem. Last year, when the crap ball hit the fan here in the house, I forgot to pay my town taxes. Not a big deal. They were late. I paid them like a month later. Just one of those spaced it things. Went to re-register my van. They're like, you have delinquent taxes. I'm like, okay, I thought I paid them, but I went to town hall. Town hall says, you paid them. Okay. Went to motor vehicle. And I've been doing it online because Connecticut has all online stuff. It goes, there's an issue with your license / motor vehicle because here in Connecticut, they're all tied together and if anything goes wrong, they rip everything out from underneath you to make you pay it, which is a good, bad thing. But anyways, so you go online and you say, okay, it's bad. There's an issue. Click here to, figure out the issue and fix it. So you click there and it comes up and says there's no issue. So I spent 4 hours in motor vehicle to find out they misspelled my name. So the delinquent taxes that I paid, which were no longer delinquent, never got cleared because they never applied them to the other name. Making it worse is I got it all fixed. The name's all right. But because everything's computerized, it'll take a week to clear. It's like, I have the proof. I have the paperwork. Well, nothing's paper anymore. Everything's digital.
Yeah.
Well, there's a freaking issue. I have physical on hand. Here it is in your freaking face proof. And you can't fix this. Nope. It's going to take 7 to 10 days to clear on the digital end. I can't re-register the car. Are you kidding me?
Digital's supposed to be faster, more efficient.
You would think.
Supposed to be able to
I guess the tax clearance, the motor vehicle tax clearance from the towns only updates once a week.
Yeah.
So the town, goes in and says, okay, it's cleared, but it'll take a week for the state to actually go, okay, it's actually cleared. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So my van's unregistered. I've been for 2 months now because they couldn't get their crap together.
I've got a pickup that's been unregistered for like 6 years now.
I mean, I really don't drive it anymore. My parents just, long story short, neither one of my parents can drive. So we sold all their cars and vans and we went out and bought a new little Chevy Equinox or whatever. It's not brand new, but pretty darn close. It's only got 20,000 miles on it. And that's what I drive them around in. And I pretty much just drive it. My van now is basically a garbage truck. We use it to take the garbage down and go to the dump and, work in the yard. But it needs to be registered for nothing else so I can go get gas for it.
Yeah. Yeah, Techie Dad, that I got to thinking about that. I looked for multiples online to buy them already built. And I think they run about $3,000 for a multiple power supply. So yeah, that's not a bad price, but I will be building that on videos. So if you want to follow along and laugh with me or laugh at me, you'll be able to watch them on my channel.
Didn't even know you were here. Hey, Techie Dad. How's it going? Must have popped in while I was dealing with Mom and her cookie toe. And the stupid cookie jar that I absolutely hate didn't even break. The cookie jar with snowman on it, and it's obnoxious, and you can't clean it, and it's covered in freaking crap. It's got to be 100 years old. It's just dust and garbage. My mother's a slob. She's not a clean person. She's like junk. And it's just disgusting. It needs to be thrown into garbage. You can't clean it. It's like this weird like ceramic, and if you try and clean it, it just smudges the dirt into the ceramic because it's not even coated. There's no glaze on it or anything.
Right.
It's freaking disgusting. I've been wanting to throw it out for like 10 years. Garbage.
And it didn't even break for you.
Didn't even break. Smacked her toe. Her toe's all swollen, but she's laughing about it, so I ain't too worried about it. I don't like her toes broken or anything. It's not even that big.
Yeah.
Maybe my glass is bigger than the jar cap is, and that's what landed on her toe was the cap.
Yeah. Yeah, Michael Castle, we can put farm plates on our trucks out here too. It's just I haven't.
We can do it, but you got to have property. You have to have 4.5 or more acres. And I don't have 4.5 acres anymore. I used to have farm plates.
Yeah.
We used to own all of this. We used to own 22 acres, but we sold it all to my neighbor.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I just haven't.
So we only own 1.5 acres now, so I can't get farm plates here. I don't really want farm plates on it anyways because I drive it more. So here, farm plates have a 15-mile range, and not that they ever enforce that crap, but if you ever have an issue, blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't save you anything.
Oh,
insurance gets to be like $50 a year less, and that's about it, at least here.
Well, it saves on taxes and saves on.
Well, see, here, no difference in taxes. The only thing it saves you on is because you're supposedly lower mileage, you save on insurance, and it's not even that much. And if you go over 3,000 miles, they don't care. They just charge you regular freaking insurance rates anyway.
They don't keep track of my miles, but the one thing that they do say is don't get caught pulling a boat or a camper with a truck with farm plates on it.
Yeah, no. Well, which is kind of funny because we have the same thing. You can't pull a camper and you can't pull something else, but you can pull a trailer with like a backhoe on it.
Yeah, because
that's the difference.
Because that's considered farm utility
equipment. No, I know, but I mean,
but whenever you're pulling
a boat, I get it, but I don't get it. What the fuck's the difference? What you're pulling with it?
Yeah, well, because if you're pulling a boat or you're pulling a camper with it, you're using it for recreational use and not farm use.
I don't know. Some farms have boats. They have ponds.
Fish farms.
I don't know. It's just.
Yeah, but if you got a pond on your farm, you're not necessarily pulling that boat off.
I'd rather someone with an old, because there's no like our farm plates. If you have farm plates, there's no more inspections or anything.
Right.
No inspection. But again, you have to stay under certain mileage, and you can't do over 3,000 miles a year with the vehicle and all that crap. And they check every 3 months, 4 times a year, at least here in Connecticut they do.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. But if I have, a 50-year-old truck that's rotted out with Fred Flintstone floorboards, I would rather it pulling a camper or a boat than a freaking backhoe.
Yeah. Oh, well, for something that old, we just put antique plates on them.
Yeah.
Antique
plates actually cost you more here. It's cheaper to put farm on them.
Yeah, it's $10
insurance-wise.
Yeah, $10 a year for antique plates.
Yeah, the plates themselves are less, but the insurance is more here.
Yeah, not here.
Connecticut's a big insurance company.
Well, it's like I said,
Connecticut is the insurance capital of the world, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Every insurance company in the world is housed here.
Yeah.
Actually, I think a bunch of them moved out. I don't think we are anymore. I think they all moved out because our taxes are so ridiculous now. The only thing worse is poor Matty Jake. Long Island is way more taxed than we are. I swear I did a calculation. I think it was 65 or 70% of my income went to taxes when I was living out in Long Island. Granted, I made a boatload more money out there anyway, so it really didn't matter.
Yeah, Mr. Bertram, ours have mileage caps too, but they never, ever, ever, ever check the mileage.
Yeah. See, here they do.
Yeah, but this is Kansas, so some of these farmers could be, they could end up doing.
The whole state is one big frickin' farm.
Yeah, so they just stand on their own farm ground. They could still go over the mileage.
They don't give a crap.
So.
drive tractors through towns. Oh, we have tractors drive through towns. The town drives tractors through town.
Yep. We do too.
They drive right down the road with the beach combers. This is this is a beach town, and the town owns like 4 or 5 beaches here. And I don't know if you guys know what a beach comber is or a beach rake, but it's basically a big tractor with a big, massive, gas-powered, PTO-powered rake on the back that scoops it up and puts the sand in a bucket and separates the sand from the garbage and then spits the sand back down on the beach and keeps the garbage.
Makes it all nice and smooth.
Yeah. And they drive them from beach to beach to beach and then back to the town garage, which is all the way on the other side of town. The dude drives that thing every morning. He leaves it like 3 o'clock in the morning and combs the beaches. Only in the summer, obviously. They don't do it in the winter. But in the summer, he combs all 4 beaches and then drives it back. And he don't care. Most of those guys, they pull over to the side. When he's done, it's like 9 o'clock in the morning, and he's driving right down 156 with 50 or 60 cars of people trying to get to work. And here he is driving that tractor at 10 miles an hour down the road. You don't give a shit. Right in the middle of the road, you don't even pull over. It's like, I've been working for 5 hours. What's wrong with all you people? He's all done before noon.
Yeah, Michael. Yeah, I used to see that a lot too when I was living in Kentucky, pulling a Amish tractor, pulling a trailer full of their family. I seen one family that had taken a van body and converted it into a trailer so that they could go and do their sightseeing and stuff like that.
Seen worse. Dude, I was dating this girl in Willimantic. You guys don't know Willimantic, but it's like the crack capital of Connecticut. It is like, if you need crack, you go to Willimantic. I guess. I don't do crack, but anyway, I was dating this girl there, and there was a bunch of like Hispanics across the street. I don't even think they were Mexican. I think they were Brazilians. But we were sitting there one day. We were sitting out on her porch having a drink, just hanging out. It's like 5 o'clock. And they all come home, and they're driving a Pacer. And I swear to God, it was like a cartoon. There had to have been 20 of them packed into that Pacer. I've never. It was literally like that clown car where the clowns keep coming out of the car.
Just keep
coming. I'm not exaggerating. There had to have been 20 little. I think they were Brazilians. I don't think they were Mexicans. Just rolling out of this car. I mean, you couldn't believe how many of them kept coming out of it. We're both sitting there laughing our asses off, going, "Holy crap! Where did they put them all?"
Well, remember those Pacers? They were
fishbowls.
Oh yeah, they were. But they were
still in the fishbowl.
Yeah,
you don't leave them in a parking lot because the glass would blow out if it sat in the sun in the summer too long.
Yeah, get them things get hot as heck in there.
Yep, it was all glass. It was a big old fishbowl just blow apart. Yeah, I had a friend that had one and it kept popping the back passenger side window out. It would sit in the sun if like you went shopping. Out in the sun for a couple hours in a parking lot at a shopping center or something.
Yep.
Yeah. The back window would be laying in the freaking pavement. It would just blow right out. You go to freaking Chrysler. It was a Chrysler, wasn't it?
Nope. American Motors.
Yeah, American Motors, which ended up being Chrysler. But yeah, that's right.
Well,
you go back and they put another one in.
The only reason why American Motors reason why Chrysler bought American Motors was just to get Jeep. That's why all the rest of the AMC vehicles went the way of the dodo bird.
Oh, everything AMC was hodgepodge crap anyways.
Oh no, they had a few decent cars.
Yeah, the Javelin was a nice car, but it was still a piece of crap. It had a Ford motor with a Chevy transmission and a Chrysler rear end. Not kidding.
Take the best of
it. It was a Ford motor to a Chrysler transmission to a Ford rear end, wasn't it? I don't know. I mean, it was a nice car. The Javelins were cool as crap to look at, but what a piece of junk.
My grandfather had a Hornet.
Yep. My neighbor had a Hornet.
Yeah, and he drove that Hornet. He bought it brand new, and
They actually weren't bad for.
And
an
his was
economy
his
car
was
at
the
the
Hornet
time.
wagon. They called it what was it, the runabout?
I
Hornet
don't know.
runabout wagon or something like that. So, but yeah, he drove that thing for years till he couldn't drive no more.
Yeah. The Javelins were nice. Like, they were just such hodgepodge pieces of junk.
Kind of like a 3D printer. You always had to be fixing on it.
Yeah. That's when AMC bought out Jeep. That's when Jeep went downhill.
Yeah, well, Jeep was kind of treading water there for that time.
Yeah, but the old original Jeeps were Jeeps, you know? They were
Oh,
Jeep.
yeah, back when Willys had them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those,
Now they're, I'm sorry, they're overpriced pieces of junk now.
yeah.
I do not like any current Jeep. They're like twice the price of anything else in the similar class, and they're freaking garbage.
Yep.
I'll take a Chevy, a Ford, or any of those over a freaking Jeep any day of the week.
Yeah, my mom's got a Grand Cherokee,
Yeah.
and she had to, what was it? Can't remember what it was she had to have done with it. Well, she got into a wreck with it. Somebody hit her. And after that, it was just never the same after that. So she did some work on the engine, but it just didn't want to recover. So it's actually parked in the barn right now.
Yeah,
It has been for like 5 years now.
We had a couple of AMC Jeeps, and they were just freaking garbage. Roughest riding, terrible freaking bodies. I will say they would just plow over anything. You know what I mean? You take them up a dirt pile. I used to drive it up on job sites. I had a Cherokee back in AMC Cherokee days, and it was just, I'd show up at a job site and I'd drive right up on a dirt pile with a 4-wheel drive and leave it up on a dirt pile.
Well, a lot of
people were like, how the hell are you going to get that off of there? I was like, put it in reverse and drive away.
a lot of the dealerships used to do that. They would
they still do.
A huge pile of dirt put in front of their lot, and they'd drive a Jeep up on top of it.
But they're so cheap and chintzy and flimsy, and they still, I mean, Chrysler's still maintaining a halfway decent drivetrain behind them, but they're just loud and garbagey, and their seats are garbage, and they're uncomfortable to ride in, and they're expensive as crap.
Yeah, my mom's Grand Cherokee, though, the thing I don't like about it is you can't replace one tire. You have to replace all 4 of them at the same time.
Well, that's all-wheel drive. It's all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
I had the same problem with my all-wheel drive van. Any all-wheel drive's that way, because otherwise it'll twist the all-wheel drive up.
Yeah. It's like, no, I
like you really shouldn't with 4-wheel drive either. People do it, but you shouldn't.
Well, I can understand.
Tire diameter.
Well, I understand on the same axle, keep them the same on each axle, but all 4.
Yeah, well, it's live axle when you're all-wheel drive.
Yeah,
don't matter. Axle to axle is all the same.
Yeah, that's why.
One's spinning faster than the other, you're gonna have problems.
That's why I don't like the all-wheel drives.
Yeah, well, you'll actually lose traction if one's, if you put a smaller tire on, you'll actually lose traction with all-wheel drive.
Yeah,
by having one tire worn out more. I had the same problem because when I first started working on Long Island, they got me a company van. They got me an Astro van that was all-wheel drive. When I work on a job site, I was getting tires patched and repaired, weekly at first, and then monthly after a while. And they're like, they only patch them 4 times. They only plug them 4 times, and then they got to replace it. Well, when they replaced it, they got to replace all of them. Well, it was also a 1-ton. It was a 1-ton Astro van like I have now.
Yeah.
People don't realize there are 1-ton Astro vans. The problem are the tires for them are like $1,000 a piece.
Yep.
It was like $3 or $4 grand to replace all the tires. And I got like 30,000 miles on it, and you're buying a whole new set of tires.
Yep.
There's so many holes in it. I mean, I'm at a job site with, there's 200 houses being built and golf courses, and I was running 3 or 4 job sites.
That's why
I got 200 or 300 guys under my crews, and
that's why all my trucks got 10 plies on them.
Literally just, and they're like, "You need new tires." I'm like, they can only plug them 4 times.
Yeah, that's why all my trucks got 10 plies on them.
Yeah. Can't do that around here.
Have to do that around here.
Yeah. Well, it's a little different there.
I am in Northwest Kansas.
He's out in the Midwest, hokey field. He's in a big field, a statewide field.
Pretty much. About halfway.
Like 3 trees.
On the map, I'm about almost dead center, halfway between Kansas City and Denver.
My brother's just outside of Denver.
Yeah.
Just outside of Denver. Anyway, how long have I been doing this? 2 hours and 17 minutes. I was only going to do it for an hour.
Then I had to come along and make it last longer, huh?
Yeah.
I came in here and I was going to start editing some videos and doing some video work.
Well, you're not getting.
Then I saw that you were online. I'm like, hey, there's Llama. I ain't seen him so long. I want to make sure he looks the same.
Michael's harassing me. You don't get it. Michael lives like 10 miles away, if that. He keeps trying to get me out there, but
yeah,
I can't even leave my house.
Well,
I've got a 2-hour packing mom up to get her in the car to go see Dad.
Yeah. How is your dad doing?
He's got a really cool makerspace.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Michael, but he's got the auto drop. He designed the auto drop.
Oh no, I didn't.
Bed. You got to check it out. It's one of those bed things, and he's got a network computer where you could print on his computer.
Oh really?
Printer, excuse me. And you go on the line and you print on his printer, and it auto takes the print off and drops into a bucket, and the next guy's print starts.
Oh really?
Yeah, he designed the whole thing to make it so the print releases all on its own, and it scrapes it off and drops it in the bin. And it's like right down the road. And like 2 years ago, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna come see that thing." And it's literally like if I stand on my roof, I could probably see his house.
Yeah, wow.
I just haven't been able to get there.
I'd like to see some video of that.
He's got all kinds of videos. He was at IRF. Actually, you were a Murph too, weren't you, Michael? Did you go to both?
Well, I plan
on like a whole website on it now. It's a whole deal. He's actually selling. Are you selling the software or selling the cloud space, or I don't know. He's doing all kinds of stuff.
You crashed Murph. Well, I plan on going to Murph this year, maybe.
You were at IRF, right?
No, I didn't go to either one. Oh, he was, yeah.
Other Michael, 2 Michaels.
Yeah. At least I've been planning on going to next Murph, but I just had to drop $6,000 into Lady Fox's truck, so that might put a damper on my Murph plan.
Yeah, moderator, so you can. Okay, now you can post a link directly, Mike. Post a link to your website.
Yeah, give me a link so I can go there and look at it.
It's cool. I mean, it's really very cool. I remember the first one, we were BSing when I first hooked up with him online and everything. It was like this plywood thing, and it was a shovel that went under the print and hole in the freaking thing. It was just real, backwoods makery, spacey kind of. And now it's all refined and it's gorgeous. It's this really cool system he's got. Post your link, man. I made you moderator.
I realized last
Post
night
the
when I
link.
was on stream with Tanny,
He was on
I'm coming up on my 1 year anniversary in 3D printing.
1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
Wow. I think
Well,
I've been doing it for like 5 or 6 years, if
my
not more.
my first printer, aka the Woody, I ordered it about this time last year, and now it resides right here in that closet right there.
There you go. Auto drop.
Oh, there we go.
My very first printer was almost the end of my 3D printing lifestyle. Because I had an M3D micro.
Did you hear the story about my first one?
What a piece of shit.
I ordered
What about that?
Well, I ordered an ANET A8.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I almost got an ANET.
Well, that's what I ordered. I ordered an ANET A8. So it took them a month to get it to me. And whenever I did get it, it wasn't the standard ANET A8 that you normally see with the acrylic frame and all of that. No, it was wood framed. And I'm like, no,
better than acrylic.
but I told him, no, this is not what I ordered. And, where did I order it? I ordered it through Amazon, was where I ordered it. So I'm like, no, this is not what I ordered, but the thing about the wood frame is where each one of those screws are connected, it hollows them out. So it's even worse than the acrylic frame, not to mention the whole fire hazard issue.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I don't get. Like, I bought this Mac. I had the M3D. I actually ended up selling it to a friend of mine who's like an engineer, kind of super geek.
Right.
A German, massive super geek. He works at like some super tech micromanaging biology company. Anyways, I sold him the M3D. Took the $200. I sold it to him for $200. Bought it for $500. Sold it to him for $200. Took another $25 and bought the Max Micron. And I was looking at the Max Micron or the ANET, and the Max Micron was $50 more than the ANET, and it was all aluminum frame. I said, "Well, that's nice. It's worth the extra $50." Yeah. I am so glad I did, because there's nothing that's not better about this thing for the $50 at the time than the ANET.
Well,
it had a better board, had all the safety features enabled.
Well,
I mean, it was just so much better of a kit. It was every penny of the $50 I paid. I'm still running it. It's still here.
Yeah. Well, and like I said,
6 years later,
it was so not what I ordered. So I said, "Oh no, I'm sending this back." And they said, "No, don't send it back. We'll just refund your money."
Yeah, they don't want to have to pay for the shipping.
Yeah, exactly. So I ordered that Alpha Wise next was the next one I ordered, and the ANET that I do have. So those were the next two that I got. And I actually am not dissatisfied that I bought the ANET. I learned a lot from it.
Well, that's my attitude toward the M3D. I rebuilt that thing. I had the M3D for 6 months, and it actually only ran for a month. I bought it for myself for a Christmas present.
Right.
And it never ran until February. I went through 4 of them. So one thing I got to say about M3D, I complained, minor complaints, this is wrong, that's wrong. I mean, the first time I turned it on, I literally plugged in my M3D, the very first one I got, turned it on, plugged it in on my computer, linked it up, said heat up, and I went, eee, and it dropped the nozzle into the freaking bed and just drilled the hot freaking nozzle into the bed. Just bored it right through all the plastic and the build tack and everything. Just dropped it right into it. I'm like, what the? And they're trying to say I set it up wrong. It's like, dude, no, there was no setup. I never got to set it up. I turned it on my computer, hit heated up, and just did its own thing. I never told it to move ever.
Yeah.
It was the very first experience. And then it took them like a month. I had to ship it back to them. I had to pay to ship it back. Then they reimbursed me, which they did. They actually reimbursed me, and they shipped me a new unit.
Yeah.
And I went through. I think they ended up shipping me like 4 units. The last 2 were refurbs. Finally, I said, "No, this thing's just not." I never really got a decent print out of it. It never really worked.
Well, like I said, with the A-net, the big thing about the A-net is I would not recommend it to somebody who wants to be able to just print.
Yeah.
You know,
The A-net is a.
it's definitely a machine for somebody who wants to learn how to 3D print.
Yeah. Learn how a 3D printer works. Not learn how to 3D print because it may not ever 3D print.
Well, I never had a problem even from the very beginning getting into 3D print. It's just all of the things that followed it every time
Micron was a major
fix something.
I would have never, if I had already had the M3D and torn it apart and put it back together, and every time the M3D broke after the second one, they wouldn't even tell me to ship it back. They told me how to tear it apart and fix it my damn self. They didn't want to see it again. I'm not kidding you. They sent me emails saying, just do this. You're mechanically inclined, right? I'm like, yeah, I build for a living. I'm a builder. I know what I'm doing. They're like, you got the tools? Just do it yourself. Yeah. I'm like, well, won't that void the warranty? It's like, no, we got it noted. Don't worry.
Well, I made the plunge yesterday.
For what?
Ordered an MMU.
Oh.
Well, we'll see. Well, it was this that kind of prompted me to head that direction, was making this.
No, that's that faceplate for that thing you just did, huh?
Yeah. See all the different.
I kind of want a palette, but I just don't.
Well, I thought about doing a palette too, but then, the palettes are actually having more problems than the danged MMUs. But you see how I did those colors, though? I was pretty proud of myself about how I did those color changes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Those are actually insets.
U10 or U20? What are you asking there, Lester? Oh, is that the Alpha Wise?
Asking me? Are you asking me, Lester?
I don't know what a U10 or U20 is unless that's the Alpha Wise.
It's probably, it's the Alpha Wise. Mine is the, I think it's the U10, I think.
Yeah, that's the Ender 3 knockoff, right?
No, it's the A-net knockoff.
Oh, it's not even
it's
aluminum frame, it's the acrylic framed one?
Yeah, it's the A-net knockoff, and it's also it is actually part of the frame is built better than the A-net until you get right there. Right there at that
and
part.
It's worse.
The A-nets have 2 thread rods that go down each side of the linear rails to stabilize it. That's got one in the center.
It might actually be better.
No, it's not, because then what happens is when the Y pulls back, goes back towards home, it will lift the front of the printer right up.
Did you watch Tom Salamander, whatever the hell his name is? I keep calling him Salamander because it's easier to say. He just built one as a joke, recently live stream building it. The original A-net A8.
Oh no, I hadn't seen that.
And
him is when
he goes to tension up the Y belt,
right?
And he's got the overhead camera as he's tensioning it up. You're watching that front acrylic plate just bow in, and he's laughing as he's doing it. He's like, "Yeah." So I guess he's had it. I guess it was one of those he bought it like years ago, and it just sat there. And then he found the box. He's like, you know what? As a joke, I'm going to build the thing.
Yeah.
Just up and built it on a live stream, like, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. And literally, I'm sitting there watching the stream, and you just see him tension the Y belt in that front plate. It's just bowing in from the freaking holder. I was just like, holy crap.
Yep. Well, I think what I'm going to do, if I ever can get around to it, I'm going to take the parts from the Woody, and I think I'm going to build a mule bot.
Mule bot?
Have you seen that? It's all 3D printed. Everything's 3D printed.
Oh. I know.
including the rails, the linear rails on the axis, y-axis, and the z, and all of everything. Is the only thing that is metal is the electronics.
Yeah.
Everything else is 3D.
It's like that other one that Chris Riley just built. I don't remember what the hell
The Snappy.
Yeah, the Snappy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's cool. If I had time to just waste, I'd probably do one just for the fun of it.
Well, that's why
I don't have that much time to waste.
That's why it's sitting in the closet. I've got other things that I want to do before then, but eventually I'll get around to do it.
Because I don't have the energy for that crap.
I still got to put the other bear together, and of course I got the MMU, and I got to thinking the same thing whenever I put the bears together. Why would I want to change two good Prusas that are absolutely working perfectly? So I got another Prusa.
I would build. I mean, you got the board. I say you can build another one and play with that.
Well, I got another Prusa coming too.
Yeah. Well, if you get bored with all your Prusas, I got a place you can store it. Max, like I said, go over in the corner. I'll put a nice Prusa right here.
Yeah, I am.
I got this thing sitting over here again.
Is that the Frown King?
Huh? Yeah, that's Frown King.
What's wrong?
Frown King is frowning again.
Oh, what's wrong with the Frown King now?
Well, come to find out, it was printing beautifully.
Right.
I mean, for a while, it was printing absolutely gorgeous, and then I was getting this like weird. I don't even know how to describe it, but this weird like artifact in the prints. It's like 3 sides were gorgeous, and 1 side was just horrendous. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Come to find out, it's a knockoff, E3 or Creality setup. Well, their heat sink is a little bit thinner than the Crealities, and bolts right to the moving carriage.
Right.
Well, I put a sock on the heat block. It's actually mounted a little higher and a little farther over to the left, closer to the bottom wheel. Because if you look at the Crealities, they have the triangle wheels for the
right,
but the bottom one is slightly offset. It's not a perfect triangle. Freaking A-Net shifted it over closer to the wheel. Plus, they made the heatsink a little bit thinner. So when I put the sock on the heat block, it pinched right up against the carriage. And I didn't realize it,
Right.
I mean, it's really close and it's not terrible. Well, it bent the heat brake. Like, bent it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
the nozzle was it's coming down, and the nozzle was like at a 10-degree angle. So as it's printing, the front half looked great, but the back half was horrendous because the nozzle's angled.
Right.
So it was literally dragging across its pre-printed crap. So I'm modifying it and shifting it over and shifting it down. It's easy to do because the aluminum's cheap, and I basically put the hot end where I want it. Went with my freaking drill and said, okay, that's where I want it. But now I got to redo the whole cooling block and all that crap, and the whole carriage, for the fans and everything has to be modified because it won't bolt into place no more.
Yeah.
And I just kind of went back to the 2 that I know work.
Well, and that's kind of the way it is with me. There's nothing wrong with the A-Net over here. It works just fine. It's just got a bunch of junk piled on it. The cooling fan that I put on it. Remember when I did that thing at the library? Remember I did that stream at the library for the maker group at the library?
It's weird. Your streams never come up.
But
what the Max Micron put out.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's tiny.
Yeah.
And it's near perfect. It's not perfect. There was some string and everything, but it's a Max Micron. It's like the oldest. It's old. It's a generic, MK8 hot end. I still think the MK8 hot end, when set up correctly, is a better hot end than a V6. It really is.
I never had a lot of luck with them.
Oh, I have better luck with the MK8 than I did
the TH3D, my Delta, that's what it had in it, and it fried on first try.
Yeah, but that's not the hot end's problem.
Yeah,
That's the board problem. The hot end is just
I
a
put a
block.
V6 on it. It worked perfectly after that. At least the hot end worked perfectly. Nothing else worked right, but the hot end worked.
MK8 is just designed to the hot end itself. The only thing that can burn out is there's a heat block and a thermistor.
No, well, what it did was it there was something it overheated the first time I
that's a board issue. That's not
no
MK8 issue.
What happened was I think it was a thermistor that was in it.
Yeah. Your ANET's an MK8, ain't it?
Huh?
Your ANET's an MK8, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once you set an MK8 up properly,
so's the alpha wise.
It'll do flexibles. I set my flexibles. I don't have a flexible profile. I just use my PLA profile.
Yeah.
And I convert flexibles out of the Max Micron like they're PLA.
Right. And that's one of the things that I still do with the alpha wise. It does good on the flexibles. But the problem with it is well, it's not really a huge problem. I installed a fan on the outside of the board case in order to cool the MOSFETs off because they weren't quite cooling off like I wanted them to, and it just that fan come loose, and I just haven't taken the time to tinker with it and put it back together to get it working. But it works.
That's usually a screw or two. Not a lot of work.
No. The way I wired them up, I had to rob the power for that fan from a place on the board in order to keep it from robbing too much power from anything else.
Oh, I usually hook those kind of fans direct to the power supply. So turn the printer on, it's running.
Yeah, but then I didn't want them running that way. I just wanted it running when it was actually generating heat. In other words, whenever the hot end was pulling a lot of amps, or whenever the bed was pulling a lot of amps.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna run that. I'm gonna do it with this one. It's not a fast fan. I'm gonna use this fan to do the cooling here. I really don't think that's enough. Not that you can see it because of the camera, but right now I have a regular. It's a double thick, but it's a regular, everyday fan. I'm gonna use it to cool the case, but it's gonna be always on. It's a silent fan anyway, so it's not that big a deal. But it's just gonna be an always on fan.
Yeah.
And then I'll put a regular, squirrel cage / turbo / whatever they want to call them, rotary fan for the cooling, because that's the only thing that really pushes enough air to cool all the parts. No, I'm surprised I got this and this. This came off of my little itty bitty Viking. That all came off the freaking Max Micron with that cooling fan.
Dang, that's almost SLA quality.
It's borderline.
Yeah.
It's tiny. I mean, that's miniature quality.
Yeah.
That's at 1.4 layer height. Or what 0.14 layer height.
0.14? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look at the horns and everything. They came out freaking smashing.
You didn't have any stringing issues with that?
A little.
Yeah.
I hit it with a heat gun. But it wasn't terrible. The only thing that happened is the foot came.
Is that Snow Labs filament you like?
No, this is actually that was actually the Viking is Polyalchemy.
Oh, okay.
This is a Snow Labs. I did a full size in the Snow Labs. Viking.
Somebody was saying that Polyalchemy
I did for him.
Polyalchemy's circling the drain or something. Is that true?
What?
About ready to shut the door on Polyalchemy?
I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me because there's so many Chinese, other brand knockoffs of the silk now. What the hell is that? Oh, that's a Walter flipping everybody off.
Yep. Got that from Wiley's. Wireless TV.
He took my Walter head and stuck it on somebody else's body.
That's the model. That's the model that during Murph.
He kept dropping on
Walter.
He printed like 20 or 30 of them and kept dropping them on freaking Walter's table. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, he sent me
Walter,
that.
are you still here? What's going on? I got a newsletter from him about the Wiley Maker coin, talking about Wiley.
Yeah.
I didn't really read it because I was just not in the mood this week.
Yeah, I got an email from it too. I thought that they'd finished that. I
think he's got like 80%.
But I thought they were supposed to give it to his family during Earth.
Yeah, after Murph. He's taking it to Murph, and then he's going to...
Oh, he's taking it to Murph.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I understand, he's actually going to assemble it at Murph. I don't know. Buttram, you still here, Brian? He might be gone. I know he's got family crap today he's doing. He's kind of been bouncing in and out.
Yeah.
I didn't really read it. I literally got so much junk mail. It's just, I don't care. I did mine. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just deleting everything.
Well, I was going to print something for that, but all the parts got picked before I could get into it.
Oh, I did like 5, I think.
Yeah.
They did 2 at first, and then he did the re-up because a bunch of people are like, I chose them, but I couldn't do them. So I took like 2 or 3 more.
Yeah, see, I missed out on all of the re-ups and everything. Put my name in the list to, pick up something if anybody dropped out, but hadn't let me know about anything.
Well, I think he's about 80% printed, so he might have it re-exposed again for...
Well, the email also said that those that haven't sent their prints, please send them. So I'm taking there's some that are still haven't been sent.
Well, you always get those that are like, willing but never get around to it.
Yeah, kind of like me. I've got some stuff that I need to send to Chris that I still haven't gotten around to sending to him.
I was going to send you some patches when I first got the hat with the patches.
Yeah.
6 months ago now?
It's been a while.
They're actually in an envelope and everything ready to go. And, like once a month they go, oh, crap, I got to mail these.
Well, remember, I was having problems with that. I thought I had 2 boards that fried on me almost simultaneously. And I sent them to Chris for him to test because I couldn't believe that 2 different printers, 2 boards had the same fail at the same time. I thought, that just didn't sound right to me.
It's not likely to happen.
Yeah, so I sent him to Chris to test. In about 10 seconds, he knew what was wrong.
Yeah, what was wrong?
It was right here.
It was you?
I was trying to operate what I thought had happened is I thought the extruder driver burned out on both boards. And I didn't realize that what is that? There's a setting in the firmware that if the extruder is not up to temp, the extruder
min temp.
Yeah, there. Yeah, that's what it was. And I had a filament jam is what I'd had. And when I went to try and restart it, I couldn't get the extruder stepper to work. And I thought the board was done. So I shipped both of the boards to Chris, 10 minutes of testing, and he sent them back to me, told me they were working just fine.
Did you see me smoke the SKR?
Oh, yeah, I watched that.
Oh.
I don't know if I watched
it's so funny. They were, I got to say, all due respect, everyone bitches about Big Tree. I emailed Big Tree when I first had a problem. They responded within an hour.
Right.
It took me a week going back and forth, and almost generally, anytime I email them, within 24 hours, I get a response. Usually within an hour or two. Obviously, time, different places in the planet, blah blah blah. So their response time has been great, but they kept going. We need proof. We need proof. This doesn't make sense. Blah blah blah. I freaking did that on YouTube within freaking 10 minutes. They're like, here's your refund code. Go get another one. They saw that video and they're like, well, how'd you have it hooked up? I'm like, do you watch the video? And they're like, yeah, but what'd you hook up to? I said, power in. And they're like, nothing else is hooked up. No. No drivers on it? No. They're like, here's your money.
Yeah.
And they actually refunded me everything because when I bought that, I bought their 2208 steppers.
Right.
So it was like $40 or something for the whole thing. They refunded me the whole 40, not just the board.
Oh.
So I just bought 2209s I'm going to put on this thing because I don't know if you know about all that, but you can't use 2208s in linear advance on the SKR boards for some reason.
Oh yeah.
They don't like the linear advance. They won't extrude. The extruder won't extrude.
Oh.
You turn linear advance on with an SKR board and 2208 drivers. In 2208 drivers in standalone will not work with linear advance. And you can make them. There's people that keep emailing me going, you can make it do this. You gotta set this. I'm like, you know what? I could just put 2209s on and not worry about all of that.
Yeah.
That's easier to me. I'll just and done.
Yeah.
So those 4 2208s I'm going to be yanking off in the next week, putting the 2209s on, and I don't know, I'll sell them or something. I'm actually thinking about selling that duet board, putting an SKR on there, and using the 2208s on it. I'm still debating that one. There's things I really like about the duet board, and there's things I really hate about the duet board.
Oh yeah. Like, what do you hate?
Not being able to put a standard old everyday fucking monitor on it.
Oh yeah.
I like my stupid little simple, and I don't use it for anything other than, okay, it's working. Done.
Right.
Everyone's like, well, you can do that on a screen. It's like, yes, I can. I can also do an emergency stop. The problem is click, wait for it to load, click. The thing's freaking out the whole time.
Yeah.
I've worked in machine shops and stuff. There is no such thing as not having on the piece of equipment, emergency, push the button, end it right then and there.
Yeah.
Safety. Having to use a control panel, having to go through a freaking tablet or a screen no.
Yeah.
That's not good. And yes, I can get the duet screen for more money than the freaking printer's worth. It's just too expensive. And don't get me wrong, I like the duet firmware. I like RipWeb firmware. I think the duet board is freaking fabulous. But not being able to put a screen on it, some of the oddities of their firmware just don't. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just I'm used to Marlin. And
right.
It's more. I have a hard time coexisting between the two. I want the screen. I prefer the interface, and I shouldn't say the interface. I prefer using a Pi.
Michael Castle, safety third.
Safety third, yeah. It's not even it's just there's no need, and that's the other thing. I have family and lots of family who are all like computer super geeks. My brother is a computer scientist.
Yeah.
That is his actual title.
Right.
And he looked at that board and said, there's no reason that they don't have the firmware set up to frickin' drive a cheap, 2004 screen. Other than, yes, it would be work. They would have to do work, and they're not going to make money off it.
Yeah.
And I mean, he said it probably wouldn't be easy. because they're using a separator. But the plugs are there, the pins are there. All they can do is assign the pins and tell the pins what the hell to do.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
And see, I'm having that same issue with the HE3D, the Delta. See, it's got Repetier on it.
Yeah, Michael, you can use the Pi with Duet, but why am I using a $200 board to use a Pi on it when I can use a $20 board and put the Pi on it?
Yeah,
it'll be the same damn thing.
The whole purpose of the Duet was
to not have the Pi.
Yeah, but like I said,
don't get me wrong, the Duet. And I mean, hardware wise, I have a large family. I have 4 older brothers. One of them is a computer scientist, and one of them is a computer engineer, and one of them is an electronics engineer. And the electronics engineer looked at that board and said, "Holy crap! They're using like every electronic soldered onto that thing. It's top of the line, best quality. Can't ask for anything better." And I'm like, "That's great, but once again, yes, Duet changes are easy, and they are, and it's not actually firmware." And that's the other thing my engineer brother keeps saying is, when you edit the Duet firmware, you're not editing the firmware. You're editing a freaking access file to the firmware. You're not actually editing the firmware. Everyone keeps saying, when you go into your little web browser thing and you edit the Duet firmware, you're not editing the firmware. You're editing settings the firmware reads. I know. To the rest of us, that's editing the firmware, but to the super geeks, it's not.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm not real great with firmware. I kind of know how to bump my way around Marlin. And like I said, with that, I would like to put Marlin on that Delta. The problem is I had so much trouble getting it to work with the Repetier software, the firmware that was already on it. Now that it's working, I kind of really don't want to poke the bear.
Yeah, but Repetier, I played with that. Marlin's easier to deal with, especially with a Delta.
But that's just it. I don't know how to set the Marlin firmware up for a Delta.
It's like the third line down. It says Delta. You highlight that and get rid of the.
Yeah, Michael, my Delta is an HE3D K280. Yeah,
personally, I am not. I like the SKR boards just because they're cheap.
Yeah,
and they work. Granted, I've burnt up 2 of them now already, but they're $20.
Yeah, that's good.
And they replaced them both.
Yeah,
they're warranted. I gotta say, Big Tree is warranted everything. Got me, I don't want to say no grief, but on their defense, they don't know who the hell I am. There could be nothing wrong with the board, and I'm just hooking up something wrong. They need evidence, reasoning to replace the board. I mean, the minute they saw that thing and, I have power in and that's it, and it goes up in smoke, they're like, okay, there's something wrong with the board.
Yeah, that was quite...
But, understandably, a company like that's got to,
Yeah. Well, and see, whenever I started having problems with that Delta, I started telling them all these problems that I'm having with it, which was not uncommon. Everybody was having the same problems.
Yeah. Well, that's a weird. I heard that printer has issues anyways.
Yeah, Fugatech's got one. There's like 4 or 5 different people that's got.
That's actually an 8-bit board, right?
Yeah, it's an 8-bit.
Yeah. See, that is the one and only printer that I can think of that actually should have a 32-bit board.
Yeah,
it's a Delta.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps saying this thing should have a 32-bit, and the Duet's a 32-bit. Blah blah blah. Core XY is no more complicated than a regular rep wrap freaking standard Cartesian. You take your model when you slice it and you put it at 45 degrees angle on any creality or anything else, and you have the exact same motion control G code as you do with Core XY.
Right.
Core XY is just taking everything and put it at 45 degree angle. There's no more complication to it than that. The motor motion, everything is the same. I mean, it's not going to be exactly the same G code, obviously, but
Right.
the calculations needed to do it are no different than taking this one and putting it at 45-degree angles. Same motor motion.
Yeah.
Core XY does not need 32-bit.
Right.
Delta does.
Well,
Delta
like
is much
now,
more complicated calculation.
now it's working. It's working. But it took me 6 months to get it working.
Yeah, well, I heard that thing had all kinds of problems. Mostly like firmware, board, hardware, electronics end of it, not actual mechanics.
Well, the major mechanical issue that it had is basically, well, as they did, the only thing that they did to go from the K200 to the K280 was just bigger extrusions and a larger build plate. They didn't change.
Really need.
They didn't change anything else structurally about it. So if you notice, you see where it's setting. It's setting right there on that shelf.
Yeah.
Right next to that shelf, because it's actually bolted to that shelf. Because what happens is once that thing gets above about what is it? I think it's 100 millimeters. Once it gets to 100 millimeters, it gets to doing this.
Yeah.
And it just has terrible Z wobble. But after I bolted it to that shelf, beautiful prints.
Yeah. The thing is most of these printers really don't need 32-bit. A Delta can use a 32-bit. It's the one printer that will absolutely, no question asked, improve its speed and quality by going to a 32-bit board. I've had 8, 32, everything on this Max Micron, and to be honest with you, the best prints I've ever gotten out of it were the original board it came with, which was an absolute piece of crap, no name. Who knows what the hell it was. And I got beautiful prints out of that thing way back. I got better prints out of it back then than I do now.
Yeah.
Mostly because I keep screwing. Every time I get it, I mean, every time it's running really, really good, I got to fix it.
Isn't it supposed to be the other way around whenever it does something bad?
If it's too good, I got to put something else on it. I got to fix it again.
Well, and that's why I don't want to change.
Deltas will run on an 8-bit.
Yeah,
they're better on a 32.
On
You
that
get the speed, you won't get the hiccups.
Yeah, like I said, that's why I don't want to change the firmware on that, because now that I've got it working, I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah.
About the only thing I did to it is I did a little bit of changing of how the power supply, because that was the other thing. They never the K200, whenever they had the K200, it actually was powered by a brick. The power supply was not within it. It was just a brick.
Yeah.
You could get away with that because it was small enough that it
didn't have a heated bed or anything. So
the 200's got a heated bed. It's just got a less than 200 millimeter heated bed. This here's got a 280 millimeter heated bed. That was not going to power that. So they had to put a regular power supply on it. Well, they didn't even have anywhere in the instructions on what to do with the power supply, where to put it. The instructions didn't even address the new power supply at all. It just said power into the board here, right there. That's it. That's about the best that it did.
Well, again, the only thing, the two advantages I see of a 32-bit board. Yes, Michael, the Deltas will run on an 8-bit. A Delta will run smoother and faster on a 32-bit board. Plus, why haven't we not been 32-bit? Because they're actually, from what I understand, they're cheaper to manufacture now than the 8-bits.
Yeah.
Because they're more mass-produced for other areas of the world. And
yeah, they have other applications.
Why are we not using them more standardly? They'll hold more features and just, being able to load memory of whatever, they'll do more. So why are we spending more money on 8-bit boards than a 32?
Because here's what it comes down to. The first iteration of RipRap was on an 8-bit board.
Oh, I'm not saying that, but
Well, no. Here's and 90% of every printer that's out there
it's
is
8-bit.
is 8-bit because of the fact that they got 8-bit to work to begin with, and nobody's really doing the R&D to go above the 8-bit.
Yeah, the R&D is there now.
Prusa's doing 32-bit now.
Yeah. Well, the Mini is.
Huh? Yeah, the Mini is. Well, and that doesn't make sense. Why are they doing 32-bit on a Mini? You know, they should have gone 32-bit, on something.
Oh, I guarantee the MT, everything they put out from here on out will be 32-bit. Again, the biggest holdback I see is Marlin never addressed 32-bit. Wasn't set up. I mean, they're still saying it's beta, but come on, it works fine. I've been running it. I don't know anyone running it that's bitching there's an actual problem with it.
Right.
There's just no problem with Marlin running 32-bit with Marlin 2.0 or whatever it is now. They should just go all out and just say, okay, this is our final, this is a public release.
But
it's that.
Yeah, but the big reason.
I mean, I do know there's a couple of minor things that, it's not farm worthy yet.
Right.
Although, from what I understand, it actually is now that Prusa did their own fork of it. So I know the Prusa fork, Prusa's using it.
Yeah, they're using
their whole farm is all Marlin 2.0 from what I understand.
Yeah. But like I said, until Prusa's the one that's stepping out there, and there's a couple of others that Duet is working in the 32-bit.
Yeah, but the riprap firmware always was.
But the vast majority out there are they're not leaders, they're followers.
Yeah.
They're following how somebody else has already done the hard work
even Creality, the newest Creality is a 32-bit board.
On what printer? I think I remember seeing
the CR10-2 or CR10B or whatever the newest CR10 is. That's a 32-bit board. The new add-on board is a 32-bit board for the Enders, isn't it? Pretty sure that's a 32-bit board. I'm not positive. The new silent board?
Yeah.
Because they came out with an 8-bit silent board and then they immediately trashed it and came out with a 32-bit, I believe. I'm not positive. I don't know. I don't know that much about it, but
yeah, I think the biggest reason why most are using the 32-bit boards are the ones that's got the touch screens.
Yeah.
Because you do the touch screens on the 8-bit, and there was somebody that was doing an 8-bit board, but then they had a separate board that run the touch screen that they put on.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who it was. Was that Anycubic or somebody like that?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, they were running two separate boards. One for the display touch screen, and then the other one was running and that didn't make sense to me either.
Yeah, from what I've been reading and everything, I understand the 32-bit boards are actually cheaper, like quite a bit cheaper than the 8-bit boards to manufacture because they're used everywhere. There's just a larger mass production of them because it's the same damn chip that they use in pretty much everything.
Yeah, it's a more widely used platform.
So it's actually cheaper to manufacture 8-bits or get a hold of 8-bit board chips. From what I understand, they're already made. It's not like they're ordering saying, "Oh, make me some 32-bit boards or 32-bit chips." They're just going to the chip manufacturer and saying, "Hey, I need 1,000. You got them in the bin over there," and already.
Yeah.
That's exactly the point where the 32-bit is now, that they're making them above and beyond demand.
Yeah, it's like you remember when flat screen TVs came out? Remember how expensive they were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was selling them when they first came out, and they were started at like $10,000.
Yeah, they were just insane. Okay, now
they're $100.
Yeah, you can go to any Walmart and you get them for $100.
That's what I'm using my monitor.
Turn around the other
39-inch freaking monitor TV.
Yeah,
and,
turn it around the other way. Go and buy a 32-inch regular tube screen TV brand new. Think about how much that would cost, because you can't find them.
God. Did I ever tell you the story about playing Xbox and how I got into HD? I was working on Long Island, had just money to blow. I used to play this game on the Xbox called now I can't even think of the name of it. The game racing one. Not Road Rash. Frick's the name of the game thing. Oh God, I can't believe I can't remember the name of it. Anyways, race car game it's not realistic. You just ran around, jumped off of stuff, and ran over people, and
Right.
it was just stupid. Well, I was playing with a friend of mine all the time online, and I went over to his house one day. I was like, "Holy crap! This is so much nicer on your TV." And this was when there wasn't flat screens. We were still tube. This
Right.
is HD tube television.
Yeah.
Like the Xbox One. And he looks at me and goes, "Yeah, it's an HD." Or it was the Xbox 2, or I don't remember. So I ran right out, got home that day, and ran right out and bought the new Xbox and went home and plugged it in. And he goes, "Yeah, it's not as good. You need the HD TV." So I went out and spent, another $1,000 on an 32-inch HD TV tube, back with a tube.
Yeah.
HD TV, 32-inch, massive monster. And it's not that the screen was big. The freaking tube sticking out in the back was freaking huge.
Yeah.
For this one game that was like $30, I ended up spending like $4,000 in a day just to play this one stupid freaking game.
Yep. Yep. Well, well, it's kind of like me building that power supply.
Yeah.
I tallied up what the part's going to cost, and I'm like, oh, I hope I keep using that thing after I build it.
I can't remember the name of that game, and it's really annoying me. I played it forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
Wasn't Grand Theft Auto.
Burnout. That's it.
Burnout? Oh, okay. Burnout.
God, I loved Burnout. I'm not big. I play video games like I go weird. Like I'll find a game I like. Like I love Borderlands. I hate most of those other first-person shooters. Borderlands is just stupid fun. You don't even care if you die because you just respawn and you're laughing because they're all swearing and making funny comments during the whole thing. But I'll play for like a month, like crazy, and then I'll shut the thing off and I won't turn it on for 6 or 7 months. I was gonna be like, "Oh yeah, that was fun. I'll do it again." So when I play video games, it's like for me to spend $4,000, I literally spent $4,000 that day between the game, the Xbox, television. I had to up my internet, all kinds of crap. Television was like $2,200.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just ridiculous amount of money. And I came home and I was like, yeah, I did this. And my brothers were looking at me like, "You spent all that freaking money to play that freaking stupid game?" Like, yep. It was kind of stupid of me.
Yeah.
I literally played it for like a month and then burnt out on it, and that was done.
World of Airplanes and Warships. Never heard of that one.
Playing World of Airplanes. Never even played it. Oh, I don't know. I don't now. I got no gig of anything where I am here. I can get anything I want here, but the problem is it doesn't work because come to find out they're fiber optic to the end of my driveway and then copper up my driveway. And my driveway is freaking a half a mile long.
I can't believe they don't got you to fiber to the home yet.
It's on the street.
No, fiber to the home. It's
I can get it.
I got fiber that comes all the way from the switch all the way right up to my house.
I can bring it up my driveway. It'll cost me like $10,000.
Yeah, see, that's just it. It's not supposed to cost you anything.
Yeah, no, they won't do it.
It's your phone company that's supposed to do it.
Oh well, I'm in the what's screwy is where it's a beach town.
Yeah,
they make a lot of money for 3 months because we go from like 80,000-90,000 population down to like 10,000 population for 9 months.
Right.
So there's no income here for them.
Yeah.
They did all that, they'd lose money.
Well, hey, once 5G really starts kicking in, they're going to have to do something.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
because it's 5G will not go over copper at all.
Anyway, it's 11 o'clock and I got to get off this thing, so I'm going to kill it.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
It's been fun. Glad to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a while.
yeah, it's good to see you too.
I'll try and remember to take the envelope out and send you some crap.
Yeah. I'll be looking forward.
It's cute junk.
Lady Fox has been asking me, hey, have you been talking to Tom lately? It's like, no, he's been hiding from me.
I'm behind. I pop on the internet for like 5 minutes and then something happens. I got to get the hell off again.
Yeah, and see, usually it takes me about 30 minutes to get any notifications at all.
Yeah.
No.
Anyway, later, guys. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Anybody wants to laugh about my new project, just go to my channel and you'll be able to watch me build this power supply and maybe create some blue smoke.
Lots of blue smoke.
Yeah. About $300 worth of blue smoke. So